shenanigans. Some people say we have a problem, but every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello. It is 8 p.m. It is Thursday evening. You know what that means.
What does it mean,
JPJ? The best show you can watch on a Thursday night.
The mother flipping flagship
at 8
is
p.m.
back. Let's go.
Right here on Love Wrestling. It is Between Two Beards. Pluggo, I was not a part of Sidecast last night. I had some business to attend to.
What business was that?
It was
important.
NBA Finals business to attend to.
Yeah, how was that? I've been to a couple NBA games in my time, but I've never been to an NBA Finals game.
It was
where my team, right. I've been to two NBA games where my team wasn't playing.
Tim. Really?
Yes. So
all right.
Again, I'm close to Chicago, so the Bulls are right there. My buddies.
That makes sense.
My bachelor party took me to a Bulls game, and they were like, "Who do you want to see?" I said, "I don't really care." And then one time we went and saw Bulls Cavs over in Cleveland at that place is beautiful. So,
it was a good time, and because of the result, it was a better time. We got to fix those third quarters. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Boston Celtics, but they forget how to play basketball in the third quarter. Anyway,
did you do what did you tell Draymond he's a little bitch?
I wasn't. Come on. I'm not that close. He can't hear me. I think the crowd spoke for themselves about what we thought about Draymond Green.
I was going to ask you, so I saw a TikTok earlier. I know we're going to get completely off topic. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we got a lot of wrestling to talk about.
That's fine. We're going to get there. But I was going to say, I saw the.
I think they sound like babies. I think they sound like babies.
2016, LeBron complained about the treatment he was getting from fans at Oracle during their finals run, and Clay pretty much called him a little baby. But then last night, Clay's going, it's just pretty rude
fans, F-bombs in front of the kids.
But sure.
What?
If you want to have that take, you have that take, but you keep that energy all the time.
It's a lazy take from a bunch of babies who just lost the basketball game. That's what I think. So you're telling me, Steve Kerr, when you were winning championships with the Chicago Bulls in the mid-'90s, when you went on the road, nobody told you to fuck off? Like nobody dropped an F-bomb? Nobody – what? That I was going to Fenway Park with my dad when I was 4, 5, 6 years old, and you would hear that. You would hear people. Yeah, not everybody.
It turned out.
Yeah, and not everybody. I mean, if by sucks you means the best.
Lawrence, welcome to the chat.
You're right, but does every city have bad people? Absolutely. Boston has some bottom of the barrel people in it. And we have a bad history, so whatever. I get it. I own it. But when they're just chanting like F you, come on. You get that anywhere you go. I've been to sporting events. It's everywhere. I've been on the road. And trust me, I've been on the road. I've gone to see the Red Sox play in other cities, and I've been warned in certain cities I go to, hey, don't get too demonstrative if the Red Sox start winning, or don't whatever, because people will get on your ass, and you should expect people to get on your ass.
Oh,
you're in their arena.
I was gonna say
you're getting asked. You're getting asked by Dale to be going to a live wrestling show soon.
Oh,
so that's going on.
That's gonna be good. That main event that they got, it's good stuff. I will talk to you soon. I will see what's going down, but that is definitely because Thomas Memorial Stadium over a little ways down the road here is a nice place to catch a wrestling event. So
there we'll go.
Talk. I gotta get my chip. I gotta get my autographed Chip the Man Will Walker baseball card. I gotta get that. So I should probably show up. What I was going to say is I live in the cities of South Bend where Notre Dame plays. Notre Dame, Catholic school. Perception is I'm
sure everyone in the crowd there is on their best behavior.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So when we joined the ACC, a certain Duke Blue Devils team featuring Trippy McGee, Grayson Allen.
Jealousy, Tim. It's just you guys are jealous because we win. We're going to win the NBA Finals.
Which
win everything all the time.
Grayson Allen played, and every time he touched the ball, it was F you, Grayson.
Yeah,
I'm talking
exactly.
This is Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, a Catholic school.
But I want to go back
to the
God. That's what I'm saying. So it's everywhere. Yes, but Clay was being a little punk. talking like,
being a
oh,
little bitch is what he was doing. Being a little bitch.
They're a year ahead of their rebuild. I think that they just aren't. They're not matching up well right now. They're the Celtics.
Yeah, look at the
outside
Celtics
of the third quarter are the better team.
Yeah, the Celtics have been better in every one of these series that they've played. They swept Brooklyn, and that was actually the hardest series.
Yeah,
but they were clearly better than Milwaukee, but they play stupid. They were clearly better than Miami, but they play stupid, and they are clearly better than Golden State, but they had third quarters, and sometimes they just play stupid.
We're going to talk about that too. I've made a decision on what I'm going to do about my Browns fandom.
Oh yeah, you're gonna jump off?
I'm done.
You're jumping off?
I'm out.
You're jumping
I'm
off?
out.
We're getting all the non-wrestling talk out at the beginning, and then we'll dive in. Is that what we're gonna do?
Sure.
We're gonna talk
I
about
didn't
my Celtics,
expect
and then we're gonna talk.
We talked about HCW, my boys. That's going to be an awesome show.
We sure did. We're going to talk about Hell in a Cell. We're going to talk about Dynamite. We're going to talk about the injury bug that is running rampant through the professional wrestling world.
I'm not going to get into the details of the Deshaun Watson show.
No, we don't have to.
It's icky. It's gross. I'm not talking. But what's going to happen? And this is how I became a Browns fan. So now we're jumping ship. I'm going to put 31 NFL teams in a hat.
Wow.
We're going to pick 4 of them.
4?
We're going to pick 4 on air.
For every Christmas tree you have?
No, I should so I could get ornaments.
You can just deck out ornaments of each team on a fucking tree.
So we're doing it again. So no, we're gonna hear me out. I figured it out. We're gonna put it to social media.
Don't let people vote. Don't let the people
vote. That's how I became a Browns fan. I let the people vote, and I was 0-16 my first year as a Browns fan. So
Tim,
coming soon, Pluggo's new NFL team.
Just for the record, can we put up Tim's NBA comment there? If the Celtics win this championship, they will have the most championships in the history of professional basketball. So when you make a comment that says, up until now, the Celtics ain't ever been much, they're about to win their 18th championship. And Pluggo's dying. They're about to win their 18th championship if they pull it out, which I feel good about it. And they will break the tie with the Lakers for the most championships in the history of the sport. In the history of the sport. So that is not true. Anyway. Wordsmith, love to see you, bud.
My
love
bestie.
To see you. Yeah, Lawrence, he somehow draws the Browns 4 times.
I won't put the Browns in. So when I jump from the Bengals,
so they're automatically out because of
when I jumped from the Bengals because of their bullshit back in the day, I took them out so I wouldn't get them again.
Why wouldn't you just go back to the Bengals though? Because now they're good. If you were already a Bengals fan at one point in your life,
that's true. But isn't that kind of like bandwagon hopping just for the sake of bandwagon hopping? I'm trying to make it.
But were you on the bandwagon?
I'm basically saying that Pluggo, 36-year-old Pluggo, is ready and he is excited to start a journey with a new team.
And that's fine. That's fine. But you were a Bengals fan before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was that like your first favorite football team with the Bengals?
No, I've always had a weird relationship with football.
Coming from somewhere where I've only liked 4 teams my whole life.
It's weird.
And it's the 4 teams where I'm fucking from because that's how it's supposed to be. Weirdo.
Well, I'm just saying.
I understand you're in Indiana.
There's nothing. I did.
What about the Pacers?
The Pacers.
You don't like the Pacers?
I was a Rockets fan.
I agree with Lawrence. I am excited for you to like grab a new team and blah blah blah. But what about the Pacers?
The Pacers aren't bad.
They were good in the 90s. They made it to finals and shit with Reggie Miller, Rick Smits.
Everybody in this area was a Bulls fan till they ride.
Is it because you're closer to Chicago?
Yeah, we're closer to Chicago. It's pretty close. So basically, South Bend. So if this is Michigan, this is where I live, right? Like on the border. So you got Detroit up there. There's we're doing geography with Pluggo. There's Chicago's like 2.5 hours out.
Gotcha.
Indy is about 3 hours out. Cincinnati's about 4. Cleveland. It's all kind of like I'm central. And when I made the decision when I grew up and started really focusing on sport, I said I needed to pick a team because I just liked good football. Like football to me is football, like I just enjoy the sport. So I said, you know what? The Lions were god awful.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to root for a team that never ever wins.
Yeah.
The Bears, I just didn't really dig the Bears, but hey, it is what it is. And then decided Cincinnati. I liked Ocho Cinco. I like that guy a lot. He was awesome. And then, they decided to be crazy people and I jumped ship because of all that craziness. And now we're back to all that craziness. And so I'm thinking of jumping ship again. But if we put it to a fun little rate, who knows? Who knows who I might get? I could become a Dolphins fan next week.
That would be unfortunate. Although they're going to get Tom Brady next year. But mark my words, Tom Brady going to be a Miami Dolphin next year. So 100%. Him and Sean Payton. Sean Payton's going to be the head coach. Tom Brady's going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, dude.
That's what's going to happen.
But that's what I'm saying. The luck of the draw, and then I get to ride with that and get a championship my first year in, because Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Yeah,
Hornets fan. Well, you got Ball now. He's fun.
He's fun.
He asked earlier, so if Boston they wouldn't get the Patriots are the Boston team. They're New England technically, but they're in Massachusetts. They're half hour, 40 minutes from Boston. They are. At one point in the late 90s, before Kraft kind of bought the team and they got good a little bit, they were going to move the team to somewhere, Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, or something like that. So they'd still be in New England, but it would be dramatically farther away they are the Boston team. So I don't think they would ever get another Boston.
But anyway,
no, I wouldn't switch. But anyway,
we're here. It's been a minute. We have a lot of wrestling to talk about, like always.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We just went on a sports tangent to start, but we're here. Where do you want to start? Hab guy in the house. What's good?
Hab guys, good to see you. We got Bo Hayes in here saying Vegas. Vegas should be all right this year. The Raiders looking all right. I want to see how McDaniels does in his second crack. But they got Devontae Adams. We got Culp in here, popped in here. Lawrence. I saw Smark. I saw Zach at the beginning of the show saying hello. So we got a good crew in here. Before we do dive in to the professional wrestling, I do want to thank RK Athletics, as you can see down below me here. One of our sponsors, Rich King, a great human being, a great professional wrestler. He also is a great personal trainer. I don't know if you've ever seen the shape that this gentleman is in, but it is godlike.
Yoked.
Yes. So if you follow them on social medias at RK Athletics 1, they can guide you with any personal training, workout regimens, meal plans, all sorts of stuff. Rich King and the team over at RK Athletics is the team to see. So give them a follow over at RK Athletics 1 and tell them we sent you over there. Love wrestling. Tell them specifically that Pluggo and I did. You guys should be sending us there from the looks of us. But if you go over there, let them know that Between Two Beards sent you.
They're amazing in the house. Hey.
Yeah, they're amazing in the house saying hi. Hab guy, Packers. What's wrong with the Packers? They choke in the playoffs all the time, but at least they're good. They get there. Yeah. They're like a top 2 seed, and then they just puke on themselves, and it's hilarious.
See, even if your team is bad, everybody this time of year expects that they're going to be good, except for maybe Mike Fish and the Giants. But hey.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time to talk football. We will. I got to lock in a team before training camps and everything gets started. Because I can't.
All right.
Sean Watson and Kareem Hunt in the same backfield. That's fucking tough.
All right, let's dive into a Pluggo. Hell in a Cell was this past Sunday.
Did anything happen?
All in all, I thought it was a pretty good show. It was pretty good. But that seems to be the routine with WWE is the builds and everything just suck. And then the shows end up just being pretty good because the wrestling's usually always pretty good.
Yeah, I think we both said that last week when we were talking about the preview. It's like it was the same thing with Backlash. Like nothing about the build was super exciting. We get to the show and it's great. It's good wrestling. They're professionals, top professionals in the world. They do a great job. Obviously, I think we're going to skim over a few things and talk about the main thing that happened. But
and then we'll dive into a bigger conversation. But I did think that the match that opened up this show was a banger. It was the triple threat women's for the Raw Women's Championship with Bianca Belair defending and retaining her championship by defeating Becky Lynch and Asuka.
This match ruled.
This match ruled. With those three, you were expecting it to, and they delivered everything I thought they would. It was incredible. I don't have it was so friggin' good. Pluggo, I'll let you kind of lead here. Like, man, how do we feel? I mean, we are in agreement that Bianca Belair, it was the right decision for her to retain the championship. It seems like she's gonna. Well, after what we saw on Raw, she'll be heading in a different direction, which I'm a big fan of. But yeah, I kind of liked it how Becky Lynch was trying to underhandedly win the match, and Asuka was just like, "No, I'm preventing you from winning. I'm gonna outsmart you." And it was a really good match, and with these three women, you expected it to be. So.
Just imagine where we would be sitting if Bianca Belair didn't win, and it's like, oh, they gave it back to Becky, no faith. This cements Bianca Belair. That performance was next level as well.
Yeah.
The triple threat that she had with Sasha and Becky at the Saudi show, yep. I thought this was insanely great. I thought this exceeded that by far. I know everybody was talking highly of that one too, but this, everything clicked. They all three were on the same page throughout most of the match. Yeah, Becky played it up really well, where she was just doing anything she could to win. Mm-hmm. Belair looked like $1 million. They made her a star. This was a star. If she wasn't already a star in your mind, this cemented it for me. And like I said, this was probably the match of the night.
Oh yeah.
Overall for me, hands down. Becky, Asuka, two professionals that are all-timers. Belair is on the trajectory to be an all-timer. This thing was fantastic. And the crowd was into it too.
Oh yeah, the crowd was ready. The crowd was, and it was Chicago, great wrestling town. They were ready for this match.
Feisty wrestling town, and if they don't like something, they'll let you know.
Yeah, and they let us know that they were in love with this. And I love it because clearly Becky and Asuka are going their own direction into something together, like a feud, which is good. And Bianca is going to be going into a program, it looks like, with Rhea Ripley, which we're going to talk about what happened on Raw involving Rhea Ripley and that group of Judgment Day, because we are going to talk about that.
If you're in the chat, let us know what you thought about Hell in a Cell, your favorite matches, what you want us to talk about. Yeah, let's get that conversation going. Let's get chatty.
I don't know if you do, but I don't have much to say about the Bobby Lashley and Omos and MVP match. I thought it was fine. I liked Bobby Lashley winning. I like him winning, and then I felt like throughout the night there were a lot of definitive victories, mainly of the stuff that we don't need to talk about that much, but Bobby Lashley winning this match definitively. That tells me, okay, he's done with that. He's going somewhere else. Kevin Owens.
He was doing which you don't see a ton of that.
Don't. But
if they're not going to already, and then we saw that he's going to be in the U.S. title hunt, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He was involved with Theory the next night on Raw. So at least I think that he's.
Yes, it was. I think in that.
Yeah, I agree, Ab Guy. I fully agree.
That seems to be the motto. The model for WWE now is we're going to make these better than you expect.
Yep. And then we have Kevin Owens defeated Ezekiel. I've liked this program. I thought though, at the end of this match, I was like, oh, wow, all right, Kevin Owens got the victory. Now Kevin Owens is going to go do something else. But on Raw, it seems like they're continuing this. But I'm fine with it. It's been thoroughly entertaining. So if they're going to keep just letting them kind of do what they've been doing, all good for me. Because this has been one of the more entertaining, better things of Raw.
And Kevin Owens he knocks it out of the park. Anything you give him, it works. The match was good. Zeke looked good. Like I said, I hope until the end of time they never reveal him to be Elias. Yeah. I hope it is never spoken of. But probably be
unbelievable that he got over. Unbelievable that Ezekiel has got over. But it's a testament. It's been Kevin Owens has been a big help, but it is also a testament to the gentleman who plays, because he got Elias over too. Elias was super fucking over, and then they killed that character literally and figuratively. They killed that character on screen, and then they completely changed him. When he came out the first time as Ezekiel, when they first showed him coming down the ramp, and I realized I was like, no way in fuck is this working. No way. And it has 100% worked. It has made me, it's something I like, which WWE doesn't have a lot of stuff usually that I'm super excited about. This has been excellent. And I love Kevin Owens, so that's something to do with it. Chad Gable has been excellent when involved here. Man, anyway, I'm going to stop gushing about Ezekiel now.
Gush away, baby. Gush away.
We then had, I want to talk about this just for a few, and then we'll kind of talk about what happened on Raw. We'll kind of wrap it into a bow here. We had a fun 6-person mixed tag with the Judgment Day, Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley against AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan. I thought this was fun. I thought they did it well. Obviously, when the women were tagged in, they only could fight the women. There was no mixed gender
but
wrestling.
You could tell Rhea was ready to go.
Rhea was ready.
I'll take
and Rhea's like a bigger human than Finn.
She's like, AJ,
Balor.
come on.
Yeah,
come on.
She was ready to go. I wish they would have maybe incorporated just a smidge more with her, because she could, I fully believe from looking at the TV screen that Liv could handle her. I mean, not Liv. Rhea could handle herself if Finn or AJ got out of line. I think Rhea would handle herself pretty well.
They're probably afraid of her, bro.
I would be too. But I thought this was fun. Back and forth. Everybody got their shit in. Judgment Day got the big victory, as they should. And this was what we thought on Sunday. We were like, oh, big victory. Cool. Now they're going to just keep going and stuff like that. First and foremost, before we dive into what happened on Monday, because I feel like the Cody stuff is going to be a completely separate thing that we do. So what did you think about this 6-person tag at Judgment Day?
I thought it was good. Every component of it, every person involved was awesome. I didn't hate the match. I really dug. We're going to talk about what happened on Monday, but I was like, okay, I want to see more of this 3. I want to see this. They've taken care of Finn Balor, AJ, and Liv. Let's move on. Let's go. I want to see what they're going to do next. And then they pulled the plug on it. I like Rhea's new look was interesting. I was sitting there watching and I go, is she wearing shorts or those?
They actually ran with it, but apparently like her luggage or something, her gear didn't arrive on time. So that what she wore on Sunday was like just making the best out of a bad situation. But I think really? I think it looked cool and a lot, because then on Monday when we saw her in her gear, she did have the shorts still kind of showing off the leg tattoos and things like that.
And Mrs. Pluggo was like, is that something you noticed? And she said, that's weird. And I was like, I watch this every day.
I'm used to what they wear.
Yeah, and if somebody switches even the slide, I said Finn Balor didn't have, it wasn't all black leather. He had a white stripe. I said, just weird things I noticed. She thought that was weird. I was like,
I agree.
But no, ultimately it was a good match. And then I thought we were going to see Finn join.
Well, we did,
but
so going into Raw,
then
I think they tweet out, either Edge or WWE. Someone tweets out and says, tonight we're getting a new member of Judgment Day. Okay. So Judgment Day comes out. Edge cuts a promo, kind of talking them up, saying they won and how great they are and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, all right, new member. And he introduces Finn Balor. Finn Balor comes out. They shake hands. And then I was just going to say Punishment Martinez, but Damian Priest grabs the mic and he goes, he says something along the lines of like, all right, now we're stronger than ever, but now it's time to remove our weakest link or our weakest whatever. And they beat the shit out of Edge.
But did Edge ultimately look that weak on Sunday? I didn't think he looked that bad.
The shit out of Edge through tables, concerto. They had the bar across. They beat the crap out of him. Holy crap.
Yeah.
What a swerve. And I loved it. I loved it. Not because I dislike Edge. I love Edge, but this wasn't it for me. I thought the promos were kind of boring, and I was like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about half the time and stuff like that. And I think here's the thing. I wasn't like completely against Judgment Day. I thought it was cool that Edge had a group. I know they would be focused. I knew they would be focused on the television show. So I was happy that he had a group. But when you saw the picture of Edge laid out and you saw Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense.
For me, I was like, Judgment Day with just Priest and Edge was kind of meh. I didn't really get it. Then they get Rhea Ripley in the mix, and I'm like, okay, there's something here. They're gonna turn the corner, do something different. And so I got excited for it. Then they get the big win on Sunday, and then immediately they break it up.
Well, Bo his last comment. He says, not confirmed by any means, but Sean Ross Sapp did say that he had heard that there was pitches of like supernatural elements that they wanted to do with Judgment Day, which Edge was not for. He was against that.
Can we just stop you there? Edge, former top guy.
Yeah.
One of the better minds in the business, knows how to get over, knows how to work crowds.
Yep.
Creative pitches him this. It's his group. And he goes, let's not do that.
Well, I mean, Vince pitched him.
Right, whatever. Yeah. Let's not do that because it's going to be hokey. It's going to fall on its face. Yep. And Vince is like, no.
All right, fuck you. You're out of the group. Finn, you'll do it with the fucking special shit. All right, cool. You're in. See you later.
Finn will do it. Priest, you don't have a choice. Rhea, you're young. You guys will do it. Peace.
Yeah. Well, that's just the rumor. Who knows? Right. There are a lot of people.
That is true.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. Originally for me, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh well, Cody's hurt, so they need another big time baby face because Cody's hurt. So Cody gets hurt, and then they announce on Raw that John Cena is coming back.
Yep.
And they turn Edge babyface basically by getting the shit kicked out of him.
They were
so
like,
that's what I originally I was like, oh, they need to compensate. What happened? What did you say?
I said, oh, Cody's out. Let me open up the checkbook here.
Yeah, exactly. Like they needed to compensate because I'm under the impression that Cody was going to beat Roman for the titles at SummerSlam.
I think we all were.
I think that's where they were going. And now, and we'll dive into it because that's the next match we're going to talk about here. And now Cody's going to be out for 8 months,
you don't want
however
to talk
long.
About Madcap Moss and Corbin?
I don't dislike Madcap Moss.
I don't dislike him either, but the match was kind of like, it was the forget it.
Theory and Mustafa Ali had a really good match. Obviously, I was rooting for Mustafa Ali, but I understood he wasn't going to win.
So was everybody else because it was Chicago, and then they were like, nope. Theory.
Yeah, nope. See you later. But yeah, I don't know. What the hell are we talking about? I don't even know. John Cena. As Santino Morelli used to say, John Cena. But yeah, so that's what I thought. But either way, it was a swerve. It's been a while since WWE A pulled off a good swerve and B pulled off a swerve that universally, for the most part, I think people liked. It's cool. I think it's cool. Finn Balor, creator of the Bullet Club, he's been the heel leader of a stable before. I'm glad because Finn Balor hasn't been doing a friggin' thing.
So I missed
lately.
Most of Raw. So what happens with AJ and Liv? They just formed the Bullet Club thing too.
We'll find out. Maybe they just go back to being singles people. I expect that they'll both be in their Money in the Bank matches.
Maybe they'll join up and it will just take over the world.
Maybe. But yeah, that was cool. I'm glad to see Finn Balor.
Is it still going to be called Judgment Day?
I don't know either. They called it Judgment Day after it happened. They were like, well, they referenced Judgment Day. They played Edge's. They played Edge's theme. That was the weird part. Like they kicked him out. He's laying there. You got the new group there, and then they played Edge's.
You think you know me? You never did.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, well, he's not there anymore. So,
Grandpa, you got your ass kicked.
Yeah. All right.
Well, in the moment, in kayfabe, of course, if you want to play it up, that you don't have a new song queued up and you don't have a new name already,
which is fine. You know what? Yeah. You know what you can do? Don't play any fucking song.
It's true. It would have been a little more ominous if he just laid there.
If he just laid there and it was just no music and you just went to commercial instead of playing the dude's music that they just kicked out of the group. He's not part of the group anymore. He's not there.
I'm not too happy with his little tag team partner either over on the AEW show. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, Christian?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We're talking Dynamite later. We'll get there.
Celtics finals game or hanging out with me and Astrid on Sidecast, bro. Get your priorities right.
Look, I like you and Astrid a lot. I've known you for 2 years, not even a year.
Yeah.
I've known Astrid for less. I've known the Boston Celtics for 37 years of my life.
You knew them the moment you came out of the womb? You just
all right, 32 years of my life. Whatever you want me to say. Whatever.
I'm kidding. No, I feel you. I feel you, brother. I would have done the same.
Let's get into it. The main event, Hell in a Cell. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. We heard rumblings a couple days before that Cody was injured. Apparently, it goes he had a minimal tear of his pectoral muscle. And then as he was working out, because when you have a minimal tear of your pectoral muscle, obviously the thing you should do is work out.
Yeah, you should just work on back.
He worked out and he
You might
became
want to skip chest day.
Maybe. How about we just do legs for a few days? How about that?
Not that I know.
Yeah, you know, maybe. He tore it off the bone, and as Cody said after this match, as he addressed the crowd, not on air, that it was his choice and only his choice. He was adamant that he wrestled this match. So they made the announcement on Sunday that before the event that Cody was injured. However, he was still going to wrestle. Seth comes out, and Seth Rollins, that magnificent bastard, he does it, and he's wearing the polka dots, and he is just so good at what he is doing. We've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying it for a long time. This is easily the best he's ever been. This is him at his apex. I loved the polka dot outfit. We then see Cody come out, and he's favoring that right arm. He's not lifting it up when he's celebrating. He's not really moving it. He's just kind of, you know. Yeah, and Hab guy, you're right. Like, it's just, and he did it when he was fighting Roman. He came out as the Shield. He came out as the Shield to fuck with Roman. And now he's doing the polka dot. Like, it's those little things.
He did another thing.
He did, yeah. When he fought Rey Mysterio, he came out in the Halloween Havoc, the question marks.
Yep.
Like, it's those little things that you sprinkle into just how good he is as that character. It's brilliant stuff. And I think I tweeted, I was like, "You magnificent bastard." I think that's what I call it. But it's just wonderful. Yeah, so then you see Cody favoring the arm, and even with the light show and it not being bright, you could see, like, in his chest area, you could see a little discolored with the jacket on. And I was
back even with that, and then he had his hand, he
had his hand like and you could see a little bit of bruising here, but he had the jacket on, and it was like, oh, all right, yeah. And then all of a sudden, he took that jacket off, and when he took that jacket off, you could hear the arena just like.
All the air just was like, bye.
Just gone. And I was sitting at home by myself on my couch, and I openly just said, "Jesus Christ, Cody."
Yeah. This is what I did.
What the hell, man? So and don't get me wrong, they went on to wrestle for almost 25 minutes. They wrestled for almost 25 minutes with him basically with one arm.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like they were avoiding the arm either. Like, Seth was working on it. Cody was using it occasionally. They were doing spots where they were, putting pressure and messing with
the kendo stick.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, bro.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't like one of those things where Cody was a 100. No, that shit was part of the match. And they wrestled for 25 minutes, and it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, but it was also quite incredible.
Masterfully done.
It was quite incredible. But that's scary. I think you said it, like, obviously, I don't care how adamant someone is.
Yeah, I said
what doctor? I'm assuming that. I'm
sure he got all sorts of clearance. I'm sure it was
from who?
Care of,
what doctor is going to look at that and go, "Yeah, you'll be fine. You're good." Oh, what are you going to do? Yeah, you're good. Yeah, what I'm assuming happened was they asked the doctor, can I get like really worse? Like, can it be bad? And the doctor was probably like, chat,
you let us know. Do you think Cody Rhodes should have wrestled with that?
Yeah. How about that? Do you think Cody should have wrestled?
Let us know.
What happened and what came out of it was fantastic. And what they did on Raw to kind of write Cody off was excellent.
No,
but the guy. You cannot tell me that when he took that jacket off, no matter how good the match ended up being, in that moment, you didn't look at that and you didn't go, "Oh yeah, this can't happen. This shouldn't be happening. No way in hell this should be happening right now."
Well, I'm sitting there and I'm watching the pay-per-view. I got getting the kids around. It's Sunday night. We're getting ready for the week, and I'm into it. And then, it gets to be about that time where I'm like, I got to get the kids to bed. So I'm going to go upstairs and lay down. And at that point, I'm thinking, if I fall asleep, Seth and Cody with the pectoral thing might not be as good of a match as I would hope for. If they even do it at all, they might swerve us. Bray Wyatt might show up. So I'm like, I'm going to put it on. But if I fall asleep, I'll just watch it in the morning. That's where I was at. Because I was like, it's been a good show. And then he takes that coat off.
You got to watch it.
And I'm like, and they're not, and there's no swerve coming.
No.
He's just standing there, all Mr. Cody Rhodes. And he's just like, let's go. And I'm like, and Seth does that little laugh thing. And I go, all right, this shit's about to go down. So I stayed up for it. And then I just the whole time, and I said this on social media, and I got a lot of differencing of opinions, which is fine. I said at the top, 1,000% respect Cody Rhodes playing.
You have to.
Love
you have to.
I'm not knocking him because in a million years I couldn't do what that man does. Like I tweaked my knee the other day and I'm like wincing constantly.
Yeah.
Like,
did I cough wrong and I feel like
right? I
neck
sneezed
breaks.
wrong and
like, oh shit! I gotta sit down. I gotta sit down.
So you see the severity of the bruise, and this match is not going to be a classic Cody Rhodes match. It's going to be something you're going to want to watch. And I watched, and I was in awe the whole time. But the whole time I kept thinking to myself, like, what if something went wrong? What if he goes for a move and he misses? And it's
not just about him though, too. It's about
Seth is in there. And we all know Seth is an all-timer.
Yeah.
He's an all-timer. He could work around this kind of stuff. So again, not knocking him. I just didn't think it was necessary. We know who Cody Rhodes is. We know Cody Rhodes puts his body on the line for this business. He loves this business. This is his business. He was born into this business. If he said, I can't go, then we're not going to think any less of him. Doctors should have stepped in and said, bro, like, you don't have to do, like, we don't need to do this. We understand why you want to do it. It just, that was my whole mindset, because also you have the other side of it. And we'll talk about CM Punk later. He got injured and everybody's yelling at him because he jumped into the crowd and think he broke his foot in that moment. He shouldn't be doing that. Well, Cody shouldn't be working out with a torn pec either. And we just, in this day and age, it's just kind of cringeworthy. The match was masterfully done. They did it beautifully. It was the best match I think they ultimately could have gotten. Yeah. I think if you would have played that match 100 more times in the same circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to pull off what they pulled off, because there's so much room for error. It just made me a little queasy. But again,
yeah, no, look at it.
1,000% respect.
Oh my god, dude! That is one of the all-time guts. Like, if you don't respect Cody Rhodes, okay, I don't care if you don't like him, or not, whatever. I don't care. Yeah. You can like and not like whoever you choose. If you do not respect Cody Rhodes for doing that, I don't know what to tell you. That guy, it's crazy to me because he came back. They've treated him like a main eventer. He's got the music from AEW. They are booking him to what everyone kind of thought beat Roman. Like, that's where they were going with this. I think him touring the pec and having that performance in Hell in a Cell, I think that's what's going to make him.
Because he's made.
You might have argued he was already kind of made, but no, that made him, because he comes out, he does that performance, he wins the friggin' match. Wins with a torn fucking pec,
which is a whole nother discussion for a whole nother set, because now they've not buried Seth Rollins, but
Seth
he's just taken.
You know how they treat it. Seth is going to be in Money in the Bank. So all right,
Roman's not there.
I want to talk about this because I do have a theory. So hold on.
Okay, an Austin theory.
That name don't exist anymore. Oh, dumbass fucking name, Theory. Get out.
I thought you were calling me a dumbass.
I hate it so
much. Bro, that
dumbass name, Theory. You ever be scared of a theory? Someone came up to you named Theory, you'd be scared of him? No, you wouldn't. It's a stupid name. Anyway, yeah. So then he comes out to start, he wins. Everyone's like, holy crap. The commentators obviously like, what a gutsy performance, blah, blah. He comes out on Monday, gets a standing ovation. They're cheering his name. Seth comes out, shakes his hand. They have like a moment of respect in the ring. Mm-hmm. The crowd is going nuts, and Seth leaves. He allows Cody to get the cheers as he's walking up the ramp, waving goodbye. I'm going to have surgery. I'm going to be gone for a while. But when I come back, the goal still is to be WWE champion. And that's what I'm going to do. Crowd's fucking, yeah. All right, let's go. Seth attacks him. Attacks him, rips the shirt open, does the kendo stick on the thing again, on the pec. I don't know if you saw Cody's picture on like Tuesday morning of it, but the bruising was all the way down to his friggin' wrist now. Oh, brutal. Oh. But anyway, yeah. Oh my God.
Like, but
I showed it to my friend, to my lady friend, because she wasn't here to watch it. And I showed her the original picture when we took off the jacket, and her response was like, all of us. She was like, "Good God." And then I said, I sent her on Tuesday. I was like, I sent her a picture. I said, updated Cody picture. And she was like, I audibly gasped at work. And then, and then she also said, he wrestled like that? And I said, yeah. And she goes, honestly, that's kind of hot. That's what she said. But anyway, that's what she said.
JPJ's like, I get hurt all the time, babe.
Yeah.
Like,
I just started limping down the hallway like, ooh, working her. I'm working her.
I'm making a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, I got a torn ACL right here, just working through it, making mac and cheese. You see this shit? Oh,
hey,
my legend. But anyway,
I'd be like, hey, Mrs. Pluggo, I just sneezed and tweaked my neck. Later, is that hot? She's like, get the hell out of here, old man.
All right. So
anyway,
before see, it's weird because there are huge injuries. There are huge injuries in both companies. So I want to kind of like start with Hell in a Cell, go into injury talk, continue injury talk, and then take the AEW injury talk into Dynamite. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like weave it all together, brother.
Make it make sense,
bro.
But have you been listening to Spencer or something at the meetings we have every week? Like,
no,
we're trying to make it make sense. What next? We're going to be within the budget. What are you trying to do? Who are you? Who are you? Go to one finals game? You think you're better than me?
No, anyway. That's not true. The Celtics are going to win though, so everyone can kiss my ass. But so it's all right. It's all right. Just about the 14th championship in the last 20 years in our city. It's cool though. Yeah, we suck though. But no, here's my thing.
There is such thing as too many championships. At least
there is, but we ain't at that number yet. So it doesn't get old, truly. So here's my thing. Obviously, you would think the Cody Seth stuff would be over. Duh. They fought 3 times. Cody won 3 times. One of them with a torn pectoral inside Hell in a Cell. You would think it would be over. Clearly, the way that Seth took him out as a writing off of Cody Rhodes, fine. But, hey, you deserve it. I'm a Bruins fan, so I don't like the Habs for obvious reasons. You got the number 1 pick because you guys blow. But I respect you. I'm happy you're here. But, yeah, you have the most hockey championships. So, yeah, you deserve to say whatever the hell you want because it's your world we're living in.
I have the most Quizplex viewer championships.
There you go. See?
That's what we do.
Some people are allowed to brag about certain things. So, but yeah. So here's what I think is going to happen. Because they did the Seth writing him off, there's certain ways you can go. If the goal now, so I think they can go 2 ways because we said it multiple times already. Cody was going to be the next champion, correct? We were all you and I at least are under agreement that Cody was probably being positioned to eventually beat Roman. He's the only guy on the roster that would make sense and was being presented in a way that he was believable that could beat Roman.
Yeah, because I don't even know anyone on SmackDown right now that is like in the position that would even except me. Drew maybe, but we've already seen that. Been there, done that. Yeah.
I think Cody was the only one, and I thought that was what was going to happen at SummerSlam. I thought it was going to be
Ecto guys like
I saw. Yeah. But I think Cody was going to do it at SummerSlam. Obviously, Cody is going to be out for a while. Best case scenario, maybe he's back for the Royal Rumble. Maybe.
Well, I've seen. I don't know. Everyone's different. 3 to 6 months. If you say 6 months,
is that true?
3 to 6, maybe.
I feel like a torn pec has notoriously always been longer than that, but just John Cena just changed how everyone thought about it ever because he came back in like 3 weeks.
John Cena's a freak of.
It felt like he came back in 3 weeks. I think he came back in literally like 2.5 or 3 months when he was supposed to be out for like 9. It was ridiculous.
He's Adrian Peterson, bro. Remember that?
Unbelievable. Yeah, he had torn ACL.
Everybody's different, but let's just say conservatively, would it make sense to bring him back any sooner than the Rumble anyway?
So, well, here's my thing. So I think there's 2 ways you can go about this. You can have, if Cody's ready and cleared by the Rumble, he clearly would win the Royal Rumble, and then he would win the title at next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
However, if you are planning to do Roman and The Rock next year at WrestleMania, I don't think that needs the title. If you're not going to do Roman and The Rock, just have Roman carry the belt till Mania and have Cody beat Roman at next year's Mania. But if you're doing Roman and Rock, here's what I think happens. I think Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank. And then I think Seth Rollins cashes in on Roman and wins the championships. And then when Cody comes back, it's Seth Rollins that Cody beats for the titles. And then Cody continues to be the thorn in the side of Seth Rollins, and he gets, because Seth Rollins wrote him off television. Yeah. Anyway, I like it. That's what I think. I think that's the way you go, because I think when Cody comes back now, he immediately needs to win the belt. Immediately. Like almost right away. So
yeah, I think when he comes back, he's going to get a hero's welcome, and I think you just cash it in. You just run with it right away. You don't even let anything happen. You just go.
I agree.
Because I'm all about pure chaos as everything's falling apart in the world of professional wrestling.
Pure chaos, he says.
I'm still sad over Friday. Makes me cry.
Yeah.
I stayed up to watch that.
Did you?
Did.
How are you doing?
Rampage has become my Sunday morning. Like I watch it on the weekends when I'm hanging out, figuring out my weekend, doing my thing, because I have long work weeks, and then I just by 11 o'clock on Friday night, I'm just pretty much cashed. I'm just done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, But this one, I was like, I gotta stay up. I gotta know what CM Punk is doing. I gotta know, because when they made that announcement, I feared the worst.
Yeah, I did too. And all right, so we can kind of dive into. So we're talking the Cody injury. Obviously, that was not even close to the only major injury in professional wrestling this week. There were quite a lot. We'll talk about the smaller ones first, and again, obviously. Adam Cole is injured. Fightful Select actually just had a report that said word emerged. This is a quote from Fightful Select. Word emerged recently that Adam Cole had been battling a series of injuries of late, but Fightful learned that it's been going on longer than most realize. Cole has been dealing with a labrum injury as far back as his AEW World Title program with Hangman Page, and worked through the pain.
And he couldn't let Dax win the Owen?
Yeah, I know. Those that we spoke to claim that the labrum was torn, though we have not had that confirmed. Cole hasn't competed since AEW Double or Nothing against Samoa Joe. We've not heard if Cole will be forced to miss any time or if he'll be rehab. Okay, so Adam Cole, yes.
Put that on the screen. Put that on the screen, Alex. What are you doing?
I got it.
Idris is back and yawning. Has to get out of bed anyways. Amen, brother. That's me too. Every morning I'm like,
man. Good stuff.
But yeah, so the injury bug, and that was the big question we posed on social media. So in the chat, let us know which company injury.
Well, yeah. Do we have that graphic? I thought we had that graphic.
And we'll segue it in because we're going to start talking about it. I just put Cody and Punk because obviously they're the big ones, but Danielson's a big one.
Danielson's injured. Adam Cole's injured.
Yeah, I mean, it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
So which injury is going to impact the roster more? I saw a lot on social media.
There it is right there. This was on social media today. Let us know in the chat. We'll dive into it after. We can talk about it right now. I think it's Cody.
Yeah,
I think it's Cody.
Well, the reason I bring up get your stuff in the chat. We'll talk about your chats as we segue, because we started to talk about CM Punk, which is a big deal, which segues into everything that they did this week to try to offset losing the title. Which it's a big deal. I cried. CM Punk is crying right there, my man. Yeah. Sad.
So we'll get into it now with CM Punk. But if you're in here, let us know in the chat what you think the answer to this question is. Which injury will have the biggest impact going forward? All right, Pluggo, let's dive in here. All right. So it was announced last Friday, right before Rampage, CM Punk sends out a tweet. And he says, I have an announcement to make on Rampage tonight about my future and the future of the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Please tune in. Immediately, speculation everywhere. I thought immediately, I'm like, he's hurt. Shit. He's hurt. He's going to have to forfeit the title. Damn it.
I immediately thought it, because the way he worded the tweet was kind of like my career.
He did talk about his career, yeah.
And I was like, is he retiring? Did he do like an Edge thing or Daniel Bryan type deal, like when they retired the first time? Like, I was like, shit.
Oh, and before we do dive in, I did listen to Listing Your Boy this week with Sean Ross Sapp and Jimmy Van. and Sean Ross Sapp. It not confirmed, but they did talk about Bryan Danielson, and he said that he had heard it was a concussion.
Yeah, which they should handle that with absolute care.
And that sucks. That really sucks if that's true. And I hope he's okay. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. But hopefully it's not, with him and his history, who knows? But hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully, but
he rallies.
So Hab guy thinks that Punk's injury has a bigger impact with him being the champ, but Cody's return will be a win. That's fair because he is that they just crowned him the heavyweight champion, and it happened right away. I do think though that the way they handled it, and we can dive into it. So Punk comes out. He says he's banged up. He says he needs surgery. The report is that he has a severely broken foot, which nobody truly knows where it happened. He did mess up the buckshot lariat at Double or Nothing a week ago last Sunday. Yeah. He also slipped. He dove into the crowd on his way down on Dynamite on Wednesday, which he was limping a little bit afterwards.
Which I thought he hit his knee. It looked like he hit his knee in that moment, but everybody said that's when it happened. But
and then it could have been later on in that match on Dynamite, the 6-man tag with FTR. He went to do his springboard lariat and he slipped off the ropes again. And then it was bad, and you could tell that he was not right the rest of the match. And you could tell he was pissed, like he was angry, like he knew something was wrong.
Yeah, because those athletes know their bodies better than we do. And when something's wrong, and you're like, shit, here we go.
100%.
Just got the belt. He's thinking, oh man, because he's the most polarizing wrestler in wrestling history at this point. And he knows, I just got that belt. I'm injured. Something's not right. And then, it's just a hot mess for me.
Yeah. But the way that AEW is going about it is they are not stripping Punk of the title. He announced that he will be the interim AEW World Champion,
which he was very unclear about it in the promo. I even at one point
we got a lot more of the information afterwards.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you giving it up? Are you not? Like, what are you talking about?"
But they said that he was going to keep the belt and that they would introduce an interim championship. Before we dive into what the rules were, and that'll tie into Dynamite, what did you think of them going that route? Like the UFC does this when a champion gets injured or suspended or whatever. They don't take the title away from the fighter. They crown an interim, and then when that fighter is then eventually allowed to come back, they fight to decide who the real champion is. So I'm not really against it. I think they're hoping that Punk isn't out a terribly long time. But yeah. Yeah, Bo says Danielson took that powerbomb from hell against the Fiend in that dog collar match and didn't get concussed. He should be able. I mean, he's been concussed numerous times. It could be anything. Sometimes it's not the biggest bumps. It's you get swiped the wrong way in the head and it just hits you right. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same example, but like how many NASCAR or race car crashes have we seen where there's flips and cars on fire and the drivers walk away unscratched, but Dale Earnhardt just literally like a little right into the wall, which you see a crash and you're like, oh, that wasn't even that bad, and he passed. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it doesn't matter how big,
with Danielson, and the way Danielson wrestles in kayfabe, he should be able to take anything. The way he wrestles recklessly, he goes 100 miles an hour. Yep. But it could have been a fluke thing that nobody even noticed in the moment. I mean, a lot goes on. There's a lot of you're relying on him, his partner. We got Astrid popping in.
Good to see you in the chat.
Yeah, Astrid shows up to work on Wednesday nights. I shouldn't say anything because I wasn't there last week.
Yeah, you've missed more shows than me, bud.
I have.
Yeah.
I've never missed a beards. No.
Well, I had a vacation. I'm sorry. I paid for that shit.
It's true. No, you're good. So
I got another one coming up too.
I know you do. We're gonna have a party. I'm gonna blow the budget excessively.
What can you do? At least I won't get yelled at by the boss because I won't be there.
Out of us. Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
Astrid is a goat when it comes to showing up for work. She was sick last night and she pulled through. We dominated. Every time she was off screen, we took a drink.
There you go.
And she went off screen to see us. Anyway, so Punk.
Yes.
I was weary of the interim thing because of how they handled the Cody thing. Yeah, I'm gonna knock him. That was stupid. It was like 2 weeks. Cody was gone. You had an interim TNT title thing. That was weird. if they're going to go the interim route, then okay, because I now I know he's going to be out for a little while. But my problem with it was, like, it in the moment I'm thinking, all right, it's going to hold this cloud over the head of it because it's Punk. He still gets to keep the belt. Like, he said himself, he wanted to just relinquish it. Tony was against it. Yep. But now and I said it last night, throwback, what's good. He actually
he has a couple questions for us to answer too. So,
woo, you're making me read tonight.
No, he said, "What's good, guys?"
I can't do that.
He says, "Do you think having Carmelo Hayes as the 2-time North American champion is the wrong move? Should the Boston boy be NXT champion soon and not the North American champion? Shouldn't they give the title to somebody else, someone like a Nathan Frazier?" Yeah. And then he said that his lady friend graduated today, so congratulations to her. There you go. I think Carmelo Hayes should be he's going to be a future main roster world champion. So that's how I view Carmelo Hayes. Whether they want him to stay down there for a little bit longer and win North American or NXT titles, that's fine. NXT, to me, it doesn't have the lust that it used to have. If you were a former NXT champion, it used to be, at least for me as a fan, I was like, oh, that's cool as shit. They were NXT champion. Now, not saying that I don't like I think Braun Breaker he's going to be a star too. Like, they have fine people down there. It's just NXT doesn't mean that to me. And Nathan Frazier, from what I've seen, is very, very good.
Nathan Frazier was the former Ben Carter, who AEW was
he had
high on.
That's right. And then WWE gave him the bag. There you go. Bo Hayes saying Carmelo Hayes is his cousin, so that's incredible if that's true.
They don't
he's from around these parts, so I've been a fan of his.
Carmelo Hayes is great. You know what? If you're going to keep him in NXT, give him as much gold as possible, because he's one of the few that I'm like, I'll go out of my way to watch a Carmelo Hayes match.
100%. But anyway, back to Punk.
We were talking Punk.
Yeah.
So
back to Punk.
Now that we're in the interim spot, so they decide to go with it after all the confusion of, like, did he really relinquish? Did he not? And then they decide to do the Battle Royal, which
they turned into a casino battle royal, and they announced that the winner of that would face Jon Moxley in the main event of Dynamite, and the winner will then go to Forbidden Door to face the winner of Tanahashi and Goto, who they're fighting at Dominion, which is the second, I believe it's the second biggest New Japan show of the year, Dominion, I'm pretty sure. But it's a big show for them. They're fighting, and the winner of that will be the New Japan representative, and they'll fight against Moxley because, as we saw, Dynamite, Moxley ended up winning.
It was weird. Like, why Jon Moxley on 100% rest is already the favorite 98% of the time.
Yeah.
I thought it was a strange call to, like, immediately go, Mox is the man. And I know
I think he was the number one in the rankings, right? Is that why they did it? Because he was number one in the rankings.
And I know everybody last night was like, they're playing it safe. It makes sense to play it safe. But my whole thing, and I'm going to stand by it until I'm blue in the face, is this is your moment to just try something different, because the interim, and what Wardlow said when he said he wants to just beat Punk. And in the moment, I thought that was cool. But then I get to thinking, all right, so you're already telling me that one of your biggest draws doesn't really want the interim belt. So it's not going to mean as much. And then whoever wins that battle royal, and we saw a lot of heavy hitters go out early, and ultimately Kyle O'Reilly win, which we knew immediately Kyle O'Reilly's not beating Mox. Yeah. And it's just this thing where it was like, you're telling me as a fan, and this is, and I'm not saying I love AEW, and I'm going to let it play out because nine times out of 10 they pay it off in a good way, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense. But in this moment, in a vacuum, you're still presenting Punk as the GOAT champion, right? Top level, top tier, and this interim thing means very little. In a way, it just didn't sit well with me, right? Like, I'm going to let it play out. But this was a moment that you could have tried something new, given an interim spot to whoever. Like, this would have been the moment for me. Eddie Kingston would have made sense. Even for Eddie, being the interim champion is still getting recognized as that level, and the crowd would have ate it up.
Yeah.
Eddie's the move. You give him his flowers. He gets to end up facing Punk ultimately. If you want to go that route and tell that story again, that would have been fantastic. But hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. For me, look at Moxley, in my opinion, of the 4 heavyweight champions in AEW, I think you can make an argument he had the best. He was the best one. I think he's a top dude. I think he's gonna. I have him probably winning it. I don't know. You think they go Punk and Mox, and then Punk gets the title back? I don't know though. We'll see. There was a lot of things they could have done though. I mean, I agree with you to an extent. They could have made, if you wanted to, and I'm glad they at least addressed it with Wardlow, and Wardlow addressed it and said, hey, like, because that makes sense, because you look at Wardlow and you're like, why wouldn't Wardlow be in that battle royal? And why wouldn't Wardlow win it? He just beat MJF and killed him. 10 power bombs, didn't even get a move in. Like, why wouldn't he be in that battle royal, win that battle royal, and then beat Moxley? And why not have him be the interim champion?
Make him the made man.
When they addressed it, and he was like, no, I want to beat Punk for that title if I'm going to beat it. Like, you rest up, I'll be waiting for you. I at least thought, like, okay, that's at least they addressed it, thank God. But
he blew it off. Like, I don't even want the interim title. I want the main title. So now we're already saying like this title means.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we already kind of know that going in. You're like, yeah, this guy's just holding serve until Punk comes back, and then they'll fight.
This answers the question we put up. AEW has like 10 deep right now where you go, they could be champion, they'll be fine without CM Punk. WWE is completely lost because they've booked themselves into this insane corner.
Yeah, now without Cody, they don't have anybody
Roman's
that's
not even really doing anything with it.
No, and now the report came out today that he might not even be at Money in the Bank, so he's going to go 3 months. 3 pay-per-views without they gave him both belts, and he's just hasn't been around.
Just doing nothing. Just got that Christian Cage schedule.
I know. All right, we're about a little more than halfway through the show, so you know at that time it's time for more sponsored time.
Are we talking about our balls?
We are talking about our balls. 100%.
What about our balls?
We're talking about manscaped.com. Our friends over there. You need to be trimmed up down there. You need to feel more refreshed down there. You just want to look good, look better down there. You
Not
go to
only
manscaped.com.
You need to do all those things. You need to do it safely with all the injuries that are happening. That lawnmower 4.0 does not nick your ball sack, so you end up on the injured list like CM Punk.
Not at all.
Nick
free. Yep. Waterproof. It has a little flashlight on there if you're having trouble.
They're keeping you safe.
Yes, keeping you safe. Manscaped.com, promo code Love Wrestling. You will get 20% off your first order plus free shipping. And that free shipping is what, Pluggo?
Worldwide, like the tightest slide, baby.
Baby. Worldwide. Anywhere in the world you can get it. 20% off. Manscaped.com, promo code Love Wrestling. The Lawnmower 4.0. The Crop Preserver. They got ball wipes. They have non-ball related items that will just help you skin care, hair care. They got it all. They got it all over there. Manscaped.com, 20% off. Promo code Love Wrestling. Treat your balls with respect, gentlemen.
That's right.
Treat your balls with respect.
Treat them safely like Seth Rollins did with Cody in the cell. Keep them safe. Keep them safe. Keep them happy. What a performance.
Right.
Tell them the beard sent you at manscaped.com so we keep the lights on so Spencer doesn't end up firing us.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to dive into Dynamite. We already touched on some things. As we said, the Casino Battle Royal opened up the show. Kyle O'Reilly victorious. But like you said, there were some heavy hitters in here. We had Darby Allin in there. We had Swerve. We had Keith Lee, Wheeler Yuta, Andrade. There were more as well, but those were the guys. Ray Phoenix was in there. Archer was in there. Ricky Starks was in there. There were some names in there. Yeah,
like it was a good field, and they ultimately end up with they let Hager take out Kingston, keep that going. Keith Lee turned our Swerve turned on Keith Lee, which I
don't know if was it a turn. I don't know if it was a turn.
He tweeted out later on that he dropped that dead weight.
All right, good. Because he then eliminated a Darby later, and he was kind of going heel a little. Like he was at least the crowd was booing him, and he was kind of eating shit. Like he was kind of going back and forth with the crowd. So, all right, well, they're doing that. Fine. But yeah, no, I thought it was a fun. I like the Casino Battle Royal. There was no Joker or anything this time, but
there was rumor that there was a Joker, but the Joker was in the first mix of
was it Andrade? Was Andrade the Joker because he was like the big return because he had been gone for a while getting married?
I'm not gonna speculate and pretend like I know. If somebody in the chat knows or Alex pulls it up and he finds out, but they had mentioned, I don't know, it was weird. But the Joker was not the 21 entrant or whatever, like getting the final spot and getting the cool pop, blah blah blah. It was cool. Battle Kyle O'Reilly, when he won, it's like, all right, yeah, he's gonna have a good match with Mox because Kyle O'Reilly has good matches with everybody, and he could take a loss and be fine. But again, in that moment, I think you should have tried something crazy and had them even beat Mox. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Do something crazy.
Yeah.
It's all you're gonna when Punk comes back, you're gonna just go back to business as usual anyway. Let's have a few months where it's just chaos.
I would agree. Oh, all right. Bo says that they did mention that Andrade.
But if he's the Joker, why he was in like the first group? He wasn't the last guy.
Yeah, they change it up. Usually they do the last guy out. Maybe they didn't want the effect of everyone thinking he was automatically going to win or something. I don't know. But the big news of the night, or one of the big news of the night, is Tony Schiavone announced that AEW has a brand new championship, and that thing looks mighty fine. AEW's got some good-looking belts. They got some good-looking belts. It is the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. They didn't say it was – this is I think their version of the Intercontinental Championship of sorts. And they announced an 8-man tournament, all involving wrestlers that were non-American. So they're all from different areas of the world. And those 8 guys were – the matches are Ethan Page versus Miro.
Bo says that Andrade was the last guy out. Maybe he was. He was
the last guy out of everybody in the Rumble of the Royal? No, he was the last guy eliminated, yes.
Yeah, he was the last guy.
But he wasn't the last guy. Usually the Joker comes out last of all the participants. Andrade was in the first batch.
I don't remember that.
But either way. So we have Ethan Page versus Miro. We have Penta versus Malachi Black. We have Pac versus Buddy Matthews. And then there's one more that is not listed here for some odd damn reason. What's the last one?
What do you mean?
The 4 matches. It's Pac and Buddy Matthews. Oh, yeah, there's a New Japan one. That's right.
It hasn't been
announced yet. There's a New Japan.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, there's one more match.
They left it blank. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they like slid it into the show. They were just like, oh, yeah, by the way, this now has stakes. And I think it's a good idea. I think it's a beautiful belt. I know that there's a lot of haters saying otherwise, that there's too many belts for the AEW.
Okay. I talked about this morning.
Yeah.
I did see that. I saw a certain section of people be like, everyone has a belt, or like too many people have belts. This is the 3rd singles title for men in AEW. This is the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, the TNT title, and now the All-Atlantic Championship. And New Japan Pro Wrestling has 5 singles championships for men. WWE has 5 singles championships for men. Well, one of them is a multi-gendered championship, but they technically have 5 singles championships that wrestlers can win. So I don't want to hear the argument that AEW has too many championships, because it's just not true, because there are other federations that have more singles championships than they do. Yeah. So shut up. But anyway,
well, I think the problem, and I think a lot of it's easy to think that, but I think once they finally draw the definitive line between the ROH brand,
and I'm sure people are bringing that like, well, ROH are like, yes, but I view that as a separate company, because it is. Yeah. Once they get a TV, whatever, like it's not the same to me, But anyway, maybe he did come out last. I don't remember. To me, I thought he came out first, but maybe I'm wrong.
It wasn't a big deal, I guess.
No,
at the end of the day, whatever. We figured it out.
We then saw the first semifinal with Pac and Buddy Matthews when they announced the show earlier in the day. This match earlier in the day. I mean, I was like, all right, cool. This is going to be great. It was very, very good. Pac gets the victory and moves on. But yeah, I liked it a lot. As you would expect, these two are incredible in the ring. There were reversals, flips, high flying, all sorts of stuff going on. I thought this was a really good match. Yeah, that's what I thought about a Pluggo. What say you?
I thought it was a good match. I'm always pro Pac getting a singles run and just letting him do his thing because I think he is on the short list of just when he's on and the story is good. It's phenomenal. He does some crazy shit in the ring. So yeah, I'm all for it.
We then had Eddie Kingston cutting a promo and challenging Jake Hager to a match that we're going to see on Rampage on Friday night.
I don't care if it's Rampage after NBA, after NFL.
He said NBA, before NBA, after.
Whatever.
I don't care. It was very good.
Let's
Eddie
go.
Kingston is a treasure. We then got Trent Beretta. So Trent Beretta's in the ring. He's saying that he's upset because it's National Best Friends Day and his friends aren't there. He then starts talking about how best friends were cheated out of the Ring of Honor tag titles, and he calls out FTR. FTR come out. Cash says the finish to their match doesn't feel right to him either. Dax says that if it was their choice, they'd have their rematch tonight. Then
I literally was saying before Trent Beretta showed up yesterday, I was like, where have the best friends been? I haven't seen him in a hot minute. And all of a sudden Trent's on the screen. I was like, oh, there's one of them.
Yeah. We then get Dax. He says that Trent's issue shouldn't be with the FTR. It should be with Will Ospreay's little bitch boys. And then guess what happens? Will Ospreay
and his little bitch boys.
Yeah, Will Ospreay shows up on the ramp. He comes out.
Takes care of business.
Yeah. Jeff Cobb and the Great O'Khan also make their way down to the ring, and the brawl is on. And United Empire all stood tall over FTR and Trent as the segment ends. So I'm assuming we're going to get some form of this match at Forbidden Door, a multi-man match involving these gentlemen. I would assume, what do we have? FTR and Trent there. So it's United Empire, O'Khan, and Jeff Cobb. So what, 10-man tag? So you would think that Chucky T and Orange Cassidy
come back.
Hopefully, if he's ready to go, would make the 5.
Rocky Romero.
Or it could be. Oh yeah, he mentioned Rocky Romero in the promo, so it's probably going to be Rocky Romero, Trent,
you could do some,
Chucky T. Yeah. But that looks like we're going to get. But it was very cool to see Will Ospreay show up. I know people are very divisive of how they feel about that gentleman. That's fine. He is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and the match will be good, and it will be cool to see him on TV around here leading into Forbidden Door.
Yeah, so if you haven't got a chance to get to know Will Ospreay just from an in-ring standpoint, do some research, dude. It's unreal some of the things that he does in the ring. That's just it's crazy. Look up what him and Ricochet used to do on the indies. Yeah,
I know. Although people were like, "Oh my god, wrestling! It's supposed to be. What is this flippy shit? Oh my god,
where's the wrestle?
Wrestling's fake, guys." Anyway,
what?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I'm out of water. I'd spit.
Yeah.
All over
sorry. Hate to tell you. We then had Hangman Adam Page, getting a good victory over David Finlay from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I thought this match was solid, but at the end of the day, I thought it was a match to get Hangman a big win. But really afterwards, Hangman grabs the mic. He says he wasn't in the Casino Battle Royal, so it doesn't look like he'll get another shot at the title anytime soon. But he says that's not the only title in professional wrestling. And he says he wants the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And he challenges Okada for a match for the IWGP Championship at Forbidden Door. This leads to Adam Cole, who was on commentary.
Who's injured.
Yeah. And he says that Jay White may actually be the IWGP Heavyweight Champion by the time Forbidden Door rolls around because he's fighting Okada at Dominion. Cole tells Page that nobody will stop him from becoming the next AEW World Champion because he's a franchise player. But all in all, the big thing from that was Hangman. It is true. It is predetermined. What those guys do in the ring. You saw.
What's good, Berto? Welcome to the show.
Always good to see you, my friend Berto.
Yes,
and a part of it should still be real to us, damn it. But when people complain about athletic things, it's dumb.
Obviously, we take this very serious. We have podcasts. We love talking. I talked about this last night. Wrestling should be fun
course.
Most of the time. There's going to
Yes.
be moments where it's not. There's going to be moments where you get pissed and you want to get angry. But yes, it's a predetermined, fun. It's a sport nonetheless. I don't knock anybody for feeling certain ways that they feel about certain things, because ultimately, at the end of the day, everything in this sport is 100% subjective.
Yeah.
If you don't like the flippy shit, my whole thing is just turn the channel. Don't knock the guy sitting next to you for liking it.
Yeah.
Because there's things JPJ likes that I don't. It's just fact. But
Pluggo's wrong, but it is what it is. But I respect him being wrong.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, we line up on most of it. But there are times where I'm like, I just don't agree with you. I think I love it, and that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Not everybody's supposed to agree on everything. It would be a very
Wrestling
boring
is a buffet.
place.
It's not an end all be all.
We then do get the Wardlow segment where he comes out and he says that he opted out of the Casino Battle Royal because he's focused right now on the TNT Championship. He then also said he wants to win the AEW title with CM Punk being the champion. So he told Punk to get his rest, and when Punk comes back...
Do you think we see Wardlow two-strapping it like Goldberg style?
I think it's possible if they really want to get this guy super duper to the moon over, which I think that he's...
Hold the TNT belt and the AEW championship?
Yeah, why not? I mean, who knows? But he's definitely winning that.
Would he be the guy that you think would do it?
The way, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would have to be, right? The way they...
Because obviously the way he did that promo, he dogged the interim championship, sure, whatever, but he said he ultimately won the AEW championship, but then he goes, I also want that TNT title too. And Scorpio's guy came out and was like, you ain't getting this. And I'm like, bro, come on. Yeah. You're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Sit down, Scorp.
But Scorpio Sky does come out and he said, no, not happening. And then Mark Sterling from in the back says that Wardlow should be focused on him. And he said, Mark Sterling goes, because I'm a nice guy. He goes, I'll give you two options. You can face Sterling in a court of law, or next week he can wrestle a 20-on-1 match. 20 security guards in an elimination match against Wardlow. And Wardlow's going to beat the shit out of 20 guys next week, guys. He's going to beat the absolute piss out of 20 people in a row. Oh.
The thing was, now, when they said that, I was like, all right, 20-on-1. Let's
20-on-1.
But he threw the caveat, it's like elimination style.
Yeah, one-on-one.
So he's
powerbomb pin, powerbomb pin.
I want to see Wardlow surrounded by 20 guys.
You just fight them all off.
They jump on top of him. He just flexes.
He does the big show. I just want him just powerbombing dudes, all 20 of them, right in a row.
Like, at any point in this elimination match, does it ever get hairy for Wardlow? I am going to immediately be like, the dude is trash. He's buried.
He should not struggle. He should not struggle at all.
Shout out, though, to all the independent talent. Where are they going to be next week? Where'd they say? It's not Detroit, because that's
Detroit's the week after. Is next week? I don't know.
Wherever they're going to be, shout out to all that independent talent that's going to get some awesome exposure. Oh, yeah. Wardlow is going to murk all you.
100%. 100%. And if you are in the chat, stay tuned because we are having a draft tonight.
Oh, we are.
After we talk about Dynamite, we are going to have a draft.
Is that good?
And it's going to be a board game draft. We're going to draft board games.
Because shout out to the Little Spoon Snatchers, hosted by friend of the show, Sam Beal. They were talking board games, and I said, you know what, JPJ, I want to get in the mix. I want to talk some more. They came up with some shit I'd never heard of.
Well, there's an extensive amount of board games now that are like. I think you and I are going to be drafting the classics. I think we're going to probably be drafting the classics.
Probably a couple card games in the mix. I feel like it's all in the same.
We'll see. We'll see
what happens.
So then we see backstage. We see Matt and Nick Jackson.
So you are number 2. Oh, what happened?
I don't know. My mic went out. I'm good though.
I was like, well, Aaron, we had some time.
I think I don't know. But we see Matt and Nick Jackson and the Young Bucks backstage. They're talking about how they want the AEW World Tag Team titles back.
Facial hair was weird.
Nick was clean. Yeah, they had the clean shaven. We then see Christian Cage, who you said you had a problem with. We then see Christian Cage come back, and he says Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They show up. They say, why don't we have the Bucks versus the Hardys Oh, well, the Hardys then showed up and said, no, we beat you guys. We should have the titles, blah, 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 blah. And then Christian comes out with the Jurassic Express not too far behind. And he says, all right, well, why don't we have a triple threat? And why don't we have it in a match that made us, and he looks at the Hardy Boys, made us famous. And the whole time I was going, oh, TLC? They're going to do a TLC match.
That's what I thought,
I was like, they're going to do a TLC match? Oh, shit. But they just announced that it will be a triple threat next week, which will be great. It's going to be great. For the AEW Tag Team titles, it's going to be the Young Bucks versus the Hardy Boys versus Jurassic Express in a ladder match.
Versus who?
Jurassic
Express.
Dino 210.
Dino 210, but not Christian.
No, Christian speaks for them.
Sit down, Grandpa.
Well, eventually that's what's going to happen.
Stop. Jungle Boy's giving you, he's staring holes in the back of your head. You're sitting there every week pretending like this is you. You did all this work. You don't lay down for these boys. At least Marco Stunt, R.I.P. Marco Stunt in the AEW sense. He's still kicking in the
You mean the AEW Galaxy?
Yeah, in the AEW Galaxy. Sports Entertainment. Marco Stunt at least would get mixed. He would, Wardlow or Archer, whoever, he'd get in front of him and be like, don't talk about my... Christian, you're just throwing these dudes into matches for no fucking reason. You don't do anything. You show up every week, you cash your check, and you throw Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus to the wolves and go, we are blah, blah, blah. Let Jungle Boy speak. Let the dinosaur roar once in a while. Stop doing this.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is...
Get on my nerves, man.
And it's supposed to.
I know.
Because what's supposed to happen is Jurassic Express is going to lose those damn titles sooner or later, maybe even next week in that ladder match, and Jungle Boy is going to be pissed. He's going to go, stop putting us in fucking matches, will you?
I feel like in the past month, I've wrestled the same amount of matches as Christian Cage.
No, Christian wrestled last week, didn't he?
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, okay. My point is, quit doing that. What are you doing? I know JPJ's having mic issues.
In and out.
Pluggo show. I'll keep ranting about Christian Cage because what really ticked me off, and the reason it's been stewing in my mind this whole time is when he didn't let the 65 million-year-old dinosaur sit in the chair during when they were sitting up there awkwardly watching the number one contenders match or whatever. Christian, earn your check, bro. Just earn the check. Keep getting them checks. I'm all about you getting paid. I don't care about that, but quit ruining Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus's run, dude. Quit saying like it was you that did it. You ain't done nothing. Anyway, Bobby, we're doing great. I'm just ranting about Christian.
Bobby, we're good. Apparently, Pluggo hates Christian. Hates Christian.
I hate AEW Christian. I can't.
Good Lord.
I can't fucking stand him. I just can't.
Woo.
He's probably
vitriol. That is straight up vitriol coming out of Pluggo's mouth about Christian. Good Lord.
The dude just never does anything.
Good Lord.
And I can't stand it. He's the guy that he's just like, I'm just gonna show up, get my check, I'm gonna go home. Marco Stunt at least put himself in the mix and he would say, I don't care, Lance Archer. I know you're the murder hawk. I know you're 7 feet tall. I'm 4'2". Throw me into the third row. Christian, he afraid to get his little V-neck dirty. Do some work, Christian. That's all I'm saying. Get in the mix. But yes, but ultimately, all that aside, this match will kill. It's gonna rule. And when he said the match that made us famous, I initially thought TLC, but
I thought so too. I was like, oh shit.
But ultimately, that first ladder match that Christian and the Hardys had.
Oh, fantastic.
That's what put him on the map.
Yeah,
I understand that. But again, you ain't in the match. Christian, Jeff, and Matt are gonna kill themselves. Sure, over here, but I'm like, I'm gonna let the Dino 210 do it, and then I'm gonna swoop in.
Yep, that's what's gonna happen.
I want Jungle Boy in that moment. I wanted him to just punch him in the back of the head and say, "Shut up, we're gonna do this."
Yeah, eventually, it's coming.
But get the F out, Christian. You're done. You're done.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Gold Leech on. I know it's what's supposed to happen. This has been brewing. Ultimately, I think it's because I wasn't always a Christian guy. I don't have any up until this AEW run, I had nothing against the guy, but I just never was like a peep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You weren't a peep, huh?
But now I'm just sitting here watching him just being like, come on, bro. Do some work. Get up. Let Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus sit down. Why you sitting?
I don't know. He's not. They because the titles need to be defended, and he ain't a champion.
But he ain't even. He came in This is what it is. He came into AEW. I'm gonna keep going. I don't give a shit. I've been holding back.
You're not going to find longer talks
this
about
the
fucking
flagship
Christian
show.
anywhere else than here in Between Two Beards. We're wasting 10 minutes on Christian.
He came in and said, I'm going to outwork everybody. I'm going to outwork everybody. And he ain't lifted a damn finger.
I mean, he did early on.
And then he had his little title run.
Yeah.
He's Impact champion. And
then Tony Khan said, yeah, all right, here's what you're here for, old man. Go get Jungle Boy over, will you? When you turn on him.
Jungle Boy's already over.
Yeah, but he's going to be more over when Christian turns on him. Or when hopefully Jungle Boy turns on Christian.
Myself for not appreciating Marco's stunt more. Marco, if
Marco's
you're watching,
ain't around anymore.
If you're watching, we'd love to have you on.
Oh, yeah, of course. To you. I mean, that would be fantastic.
You are the rightful heir to the Jungle Jurassic Express Dino 210, not this Christian character who pushed you out to just stand around and look pretty. All right, let's move on.
Wow. Fantastic.
Jeez. Dino 210, shout out Warren Hayes, though. After us, go check him out on the next one. He's doing awesome stuff.
And there you go. Have guys saying he's working Dino 210 pretty well, working them over. Exactly. And that's going to be the story. I don't know why Pluggo's upset about this. It's pretty standard fare. That's what's going to happen.
Didn't we just talk about how wrestling is? This is all fake. In kayfabe, I'm not supposed to like what he's doing.
No, I just don't give a shit about.
But I don't understand why he's doing it.
What do you mean?
Because
he's gonna turn and be a dickhead.
But why? There's nothing the Jungle Boy has to offer. They're tag team champions, Christian. You ain't got no friends.
Well, we're just gonna have to see it.
Let
it play out, Pluggo. Let it play out. Jeez Louise.
Oh, but when 2 weeks ago we all want to shit on Julia Hart's storyline, and then it played out masterfully 2 days later.
It did. And I have a feeling that this one's going to play out well, too.
I just got beef with Christian.
Apparently. Hopefully you don't have to run into him anytime soon. He'll fucking kill you.
Oh, my God.
He starts hearing this slander.
I'm going to tell you this. Like, if I ever was, like, at a meet and greet.
Jeez. I did not know of this Christian hate.
I didn't. It just started to. It's been festering at the surface for weeks and weeks and weeks. And yeah, if I ever met him, I'd have to be like, yeah, I just trashed you for 10 minutes.
Yeah, you would. And he would slap you across the face.
Yeah, he'd be like, what the hell?
He'd be like, get the fuck out of my face.
It's not like his boy Edge has got a lot going on either. Maybe he calls him up, says, come on over. We'll hang out.
Maybe. That's a rumor. That's a rumor. And Hab Guy, you are 100% correct. Christian, if you're watching.
Yeah, look.
Don't pay no attention to Pluggo, or you can come on here and fucking go after Pluggo if you want, but I would love to have you on here too.
Listen, if we ever get into a position where Christian is like willing to come on the show and be a part of this, and he looks back on it, I'll be like, my bad. My bad.
There we go. There you go. That's the boss telling you, and clipped. Yes. And we're tagging Christian. You know we fucking are. You know we are. Listen, hey, Bobby Munson in the chat. What's going on, my good friends? Stay tuned to us. Once we finish up in a little bit here, Major Love Wrestling, all your MLW coverage, Bobby and Papa Smokes, kill it week after week.
And we're not just saying this because we're company men. It is the most in-depth MLW coverage you will find anywhere. And I guarantee it. I stamp of approval that.
Enough of Christian. We're not fucking talking about Christian anymore. It's been 10 minutes too long. We're wasting talking about a guy that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Jeez Louise. Good Lord.
If we ever hit the big time and start getting big names, it's going to come back and bite us in the ass.
Oh, my Jesus. Yeah, they're going to be like, hey, remember that time those two guys that everyone likes, they talk shit about Christian? Gone. See you later. That's it. That's it. They're canceled. They talk bad about Christian.
I'll say it right now. I would rather talk to Marco Stunt than Christian anyway.
I would not. So, all right. Thunder Rosa then defended the AEW Women's World Championship against Marina Shafir. This match was okay. I was just happy to see Thunder Rosa on television because she's the friggin' AEW Women's Champion and should be on television almost every week, whether it's wrestling or furthering storylines. The report on Fightful was that she is clearly not happy about that, as she should be.
Sorry, I forgot to put that over. Bring respect with Bobby Sharp talking LPW. Yes, Bobby Sharp will be at LPW 5.
Damn right, making his comeback
later tonight. I'm going to check that out. You guys are killing it, Bobby. Papa's. I like Marina Shafir too, Bobby. Another Bobby. You got Bobbies for days.
Bobbies for days, bro.
Am I wrong? Because when I saw like the rundown for the show and the graphic, and Ecto Guy's already shaking his head that I'm wrong.
Probably.
Was Marina Shafir the initial opponent scheduled for Thunder Rosa?
No, it was an open challenge. It was a Thunder Rosa open challenge, and then they showed a video relatively early on in the show of Shafir like walking up to her and saying, "I'm accepting it."
Okay, because it just felt like they were going another.
They announced the open challenge earlier in the day, but they announced Marina Shafir at the beginning of the show, so they promoted it.
And then Shafir walks up to Thunder Rosa as I walk up to Mrs. Pluggo, and I'm always like, "Hey, girl,
yeah,
I'm a problem. I want you to solve it." And I was like, "That is super fucking weird." Anybody could have cut that promo, and I was just like, "That's a weird way to like word that." But all right, whatever. And then we talked about it, and the match happened, and they're both. Marina Shafir has gotten much better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But my biggest problem, and it's been this way. I'm spitting fire tonight. I'm all fired up, I guess, all of a sudden. But like, they just don't give us enough meat on the bone here with these female wrestlers. Sure, she's wrestling 15 times on Dark and Elevation, but that's not your flagship program. That's not the program where everybody's at. Put these ladies in spots to get them over, heat them up on Dynamite and Rampage to an extent so that we can get invested, because she comes out, her music don't really fit the vibe, and nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Marina's fault. It is to an extent. You got to figure out how to get over, but you're not putting her in a position to be over. And so she takes the L. Expected, Rosa. I didn't expect her to win. And and I think Thunder Rosa, we love her. Friend of the show. She's in our opening graphic. We love her. She's awesome. But she cares about women's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is what she does. Mission Pro is her baby. It's an all women's wrestling promotion. She wants to see these women shine, and she has taken a back seat.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week after Double or Nothing. Where was she? Where's her next big opponent? Like, where's the next headlining opponent? You're just plug and playing. You're doing what the WWE does forever. You plug, you play flavor of the week type stuff, and it's doing a disservice. And you put them at 9:30, and then you have the baddies promo immediately after, which was phenomenal. Jade and them are killing it. Stokely Hathaway's going to take him to the moon, but it's always 9:30, 9:45. We're done.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
I can understand why Rose is a little upset.
Oh yeah, as she should be. She should be featured prominently on the show. She is a main champion in the company.
And she's over as fuck.
Hell yeah,
the crowd goes nuts.
Mm-hmm. But Thunder Rosa got the win. It was an all right match. They made Shafir look pretty good, like a good ground game, some submission work. They made her look like a very much that style of wrestler.
Yeah, MMA kind of
MMA style, strong, but Thunder Rosa,
but she should be an ass kicker. She shouldn't be doing,
of course,
shit. But you gotta heat her up for the world to see.
Mm-hmm. And then after the match, Shafir attacked Thunder Rosa and was beating her up for a good amount of time. And then Toni Storm rushed the ring and made the save. And then Storm kind of picked up the AEW title. And before she handed it to Thunder Rosa, she kind of stared at it and then stared at Thunder Rosa as the crowd was like, yep.
Which we all thought she was going to turn heel.
Yep, no, she didn't. But they definitely teased, I'm coming for this. I'm coming for this. Here it is. Hang on to this while you can, because I'm coming for it. And I'll be Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm all day. Sign me up all day.
I think we'll get Shafir and Toni Storm and get that match. Maybe similar situation happens. You see Thunder Rosa come down and save Toni Storm from a beatdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you kind of play. And I want to see that. That's what I'm talking about. Like, make it matter. No, it doesn't even have to make sense at this point. Just make it important. Put that in the main event. Build it up till it's like at a boiling point. Like, just make them feel like a big deal. Don't just blow it off on a Wednesday night at 9:30, because that's what we know.
Yeah.
Yes, as an ass kicker, legit trained MMA fighter, which people tend to forget about. Yeah, she is fantastic.
Oh,
She can do it all.
100%.
She can't miss in my book.
Incredible. We then, as you mentioned, we got a quick little promo with Jade Cargill along with the baddies and Stokely Hathaway. Cargill's going to fight. Red Velvet is fighting Chris Statlander this Friday on Rampage. We then got the main event, which was John Moxley.
Tony.
Yeah, got the shit. It was John Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. The winner would represent AEW at Forbidden Door for the interim AEW World Championship. This match was amazing. Very, very good, as you would expect it with these two gentlemen. Kyle O'Reilly, who fought in the Battle Royal earlier in the night, so he was pulling double duty. It was very good, very physical. They beat the crap out of each other. But John Moxley, as I think most of us thought, is the victor. He is moving on to Forbidden Door as the AEW representative, and he will fight who I'm expecting to be Tanahashi for the interim AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Pluggo, what did you think of this main event?
It was a good main event.
I agree, Bobby. I thought the match was excellent. Excellent main event.
It was a great main event with the both parties. It was just, again, like I said earlier in the night about the whole Kyle O'Reilly, I think, and we talked about this last night on Sidecast, was he the first wrestler to wrestle two separate matches in a night on an AEW show or program? I think so. You did a disservice. You knew the ending. I think this would have been better served. Maybe you had Mox be the Joker in the Battle Royal, come out and just run through everybody and build him into this insanely can't beat badass Mamma Jamma going into the Forbidden Door. Because a fresh John Moxley versus anybody is, but yeah, it was still ultimately, if I just in a vacuum look at the match, it was great. Kyle kicked out of spots that I didn't think he was going to kick out of. I initially thought maybe he beats Cole and we see maybe we see a Tanahashi show back up or something at the end. They just left it as is. Okay, we're moving on to next week. We'll see what happens. Dominion is this Sunday for people in the States, I believe. I think it's Saturday there, but Sunday. New Japan gets me messed up. So I think you're going to see some AEW influence maybe in Dominion. I think you almost have to.
Yeah.
Based on the seeds they planted last night. But ultimately, great main event. Mox gets the W as expected. We're moving on. It was a good show. It wasn't as great as last week. But that's okay. Not everyone's going to be a 10.
Not everyone's going to be a 10, but AEW
and they had to scramble.
And AEW consistently gives us 8s and 9s, so I have no complaints at all. It was a fun watch this morning. I got home late last night, as you would expect. So this morning,
I woke up. I had 2 a.m.
I understand the West Coast and Golden State is clearly from California. Why is a basketball game, finals or not, starting at the tip-off was 9:19 p.m. We are in Massachusetts, people.
How was Nelly?
Shit should be starting at 7:30. I would accept 8. 9:20 in Massachusetts. Fuck off.
No, it's terrible, bro. I understand.
Unbelievable. You know what happens in the West Coast when they're on the West Coast? They start at 10 o'clock at night. They start here.
I did a quick pack ripping for socials just to bridge some socials gaps. Yeah. And I was like, the game's going on right now, and I'm fairly certain it was probably at the end of the first quarter.
It was unbelievable. By the time Dynamite ended, they were literally like 2 minutes into the second quarter. Unbelievable.
Which I didn't pull a single Celtic or Warrior. If you watch the video on socials,
no,
I did not.
That's a shame.
I did not. I was hoping for a Kaminga. I was hoping for a Jason Tatum. I didn't get one, but I got another pack behind me. We'll do that this week.
All right. Well, we got a clip to play. Our friend, as he popped in, Zach over in Power Out. We got a PJ Hawks clip.
PJ Hawk was on Tuesday night talking.
Damn right.
NWA's Always Ready.
Yep. Yes, he was. And we got a clip that we're going to show. Always Ready is this weekend. So go back, watch Power Out from Tuesday night as PJ Hawks was on there talking about this weekend's event, Always Ready.
We have someone you will be wrestling. We've moved on to the first of the championship matches that are happening at NWA Always Ready. Of course, you being the number 1 contender to Homicide's World Junior Heavyweight Championship. PJ, how you feeling going into this match?
I'm very excited. I'm determined, and I'd say I'm focused. This is one of the biggest matches of my career. This will be my first ever singles title if I win this one. So it's, and to to have an opportunity to wrestle for such a prestigious title as the Junior Heavyweight Championship. I mean, I think I just talked about it earlier, but I think the title was introduced in 1946 or 1945, one of those years, if I'm correct. But I mean, it's got such big lineage, and I would love to be a part of that. To represent the NWA and represent the junior heavyweight division. I mean, I would have pride in that. But I know it's not going to be easy because Homicide has been around for a long time as well, and Homicide knows how to win. He's been in these tough matches. He's been in these championship situations. So it's going to be a dogfight, but I know how to fight and keep coming back. So, he can knock me down as many times as he wants, but I'm going to keep fighting.
And there you go. From this past Tuesday's Power Out, that was PJ Hawks talking about his match with Homicide. Yeah, with Zach and Ella. Power Out every Tuesday. We have a double feature with them and NXT where you get Ella J and Zach talking about all things NWA. And then you got Ed and our girl from AES, Astrid, talking all things NXT in a double feature here on Tuesday night.
And if you ain't checking them out, you're crazy because they're killing it on Tuesday nights.
I agree.
Our girl Astrid announced she's got an interview with Ella J talking some women's wrestling coming up.
Very cool. That'll be amazing.
She's got an interview with Jackie Rodriguez dropping, I believe, Saturday. I don't know what time yet. I think they're hammering the details out on the time, but check that out. Give them some love. Everybody at Love Wrestling is absolutely slaying it, from Sunday Brunch, Spencer with the Love Pro Wrestling. I know Ecto Guy just went like this because he ain't killing it because he doesn't show up. Put him on a screen. Put him on a screen.
Why?
Brock Lesnar, because
you're going to yell at him?
Gotta yell at him. He needs to start showing up.
He don't care.
I think
yeah. He don't care.
Way to segue into our amazing graphic that you did
that he made
for the draft battle.
Yes, we are going to have ourselves a draft.
We'll talk
Alex.
some Star Wars in a little bit. It's not going to go well, so I'm pushing it as far as I can till the end.
That's fine. But we're going to have ourselves a draft battle.
Draft battle!
All right. Pluggo, you came up with the idea, as you said, our friend of the show, Sam Beal. Yes, Sam Beal. And please tag the podcast so that people can go follow and start listening to that podcast as well.
You actually I will when we clip this and put it out, but ultimately I said 1,000% was listening to them. They came back for their season 2, Little Spoon Snatchers. They start talking board games. And I know every week we're like, let's draft something. And I was like, board games would be fun. I wonder what JPJ knows about board games. So I 1,000% stole it from those guys. Go check them out. Friends of the show.
All right. Rock and roll. So we're going to have ourselves a board game draft battle, Pluggo, since you...
Draft battle.
That's a good one. I like it. Since it was your idea, or since it was an idea that you stole, I will let you go first. So you will have the first pick overall in our 5-round. Tell us in the chat, if you're in the chat, list some of your favorite board games. We're going to do a 5-round draft if you've never seen our drafts before.
How do we feel about card games? Like, Uno, I believe is kind of board game-ish card. I think that's right?
I'm okay with it if you want to go that route. I don't necessarily think they are board games, but they're in the same vein. They're in the same vein. For the number 1 overall pick, I'm going to take care of business. It takes forever. It causes drama. It causes fisticuffs amongst family members. Pieces getting thrown. But I'm going with Monopoly. It's fair. It's a fair number 1 pick.
Overall, any version you want to go with is fine with me, but ultimately that is like the standard, and that causes so many griefs. As a dad, though, I get annoyed. Like, I know I got to sit there and teach my kids how to count, but when they want to be the banker, I'm just like, speed it up already, count the money. And they're like, 1, 2.
They're too young. They're too young for that shit. Okay, so Monopoly, very respected. Very respected.
I'm interested where you're going to go.
I'm going to go off the board. I don't think a lot of people might agree with me here. Not off the board. I think this is easily for me. This is a top 2 to 3 top board game for me. But it's more on the nerdier side of things. Again, you mentioned long games. This is a game.
Ooh, this is a game. So he ran out of time. His pick is
fucking with me tonight. I'm sorry, guys.
He just went Minnesota Vikings and ran out of time.
Son of a B. But no, this is a longer form game. This is a game that we would have to have multiple sessions with sometimes. We created a trophy, me and my friends. That Birdo guy that you see in here occasionally, he was part of some of these games because I know him personally. I'm going with Risk.
See, they brought up Risk on the Spoon Snatchers, and
all-time board
discussed
game. Risk.
How excessively long it does take.
Very long. We used to have a
it.
trophy that, like, if you were a champion, you got to keep the trophy, but you had to defend it at least in one of the next 2 Risk games we played. And it was, it was extensive. It was a big part of my my formative years playing Risk. So I'm taking that. That's what I'm doing.
I like Risk. I prefer it on like a computer screen or like a video game so that you can kind of.
Pluggo's simple. What he's
simple.
He's simple. He's a simple.
We have Risk. My son enjoys Risk a lot. It's hard to play though. It takes a long time. I know this is gonna surprise some people, but I'm taking chess.
Okay, nothing wrong with chess.
I'm not the greatest chess player by any stretch. I'm not Bobby Fischer. Was that
Fischer?
Bobby Fischer. I'm not him.
Fischer's a wrestler.
But I do enjoy the strategy behind it and the fun of it. And it's not like anything crazy. It's just chess. Simple. Elegant.
That's fair.
Makes me feel classy when I play it. Because I sit like this and I'm like.
That's fair. I'm taking, with my second pick, The Game of Life.
Nice.
That's what I'm taking. What a fantastic game. All-timer. You get to choose your pathway. You can go to college, get a job with more money, or you can skip college, go right to the workforce. You can choose how many kids you have.
Did you skip?
I mean,
every time.
You skip every time? I don't necessarily, because if you get to be that doctor, you make
you make it cash. But I'm like, get out there, let's go, let's get moving.
Yeah, I go either way. I usually skip college more times than I go to college. But if I'm feeling fancy, the Game of Life, the funniest part about that board game is there's no debt. So you can go to college and just get a good job. You don't have to pay any of that shit back because apparently it's not real. So
that's what I'm saying.
But The Game of Life, very, very good.
Fakest game of life ever. It wasn't real. If it was real, the gas prices, never mind. We're not going to put down.
No, don't start talking about gas.
Inflation, damn it.
All right, Pluggo.
I'm going to take
round.
Uno.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a board game, but it's the board game vibe. You sit around, it's card, but I love it.
Okay.
When you get that,
I like Uno. I'm a big fan of Uno.
When you're playing 2 players, especially, and you get that reverse, skip, boom, draw 4, Uno in your face, and then you throw the cards in the air like this. I'm just a shitty boy. I'm just a shitty player. I'm like, I win. My 6-year-old's like, I have so many cards. You.
Yeah, that's it. No, you play to win. Those kids have got to learn how to lose sometime.
Right.
So I'm going to go with my third pick. I'm going to go with Clue.
Ooh, that was on my short list of like.
Clue.
Clue was fun.
What a game. Got to pick the killer, pick the weapon, pick the room. You got to use your detective skills. You got to think about, I love it. I love Clue. It's one of the first games I played when I was a kid that I had to use my brain for real, kind of. And
I love where Bobby's head's at in the chat.
Oh yeah,
is
that a board game though?
It's board game.
I would consider it one. I would consider it one. Yeah, I would consider it.
You just put it down. Which makes me go to my next pick, and I can't believe it's still sitting here because it's a gem. Battleship.
Battleship is great.
Battleship is phenomenal.
Battleship.
Did you ever try to cheat and stack them up or put them diagonal?
Pluggo. I don't try to cheat. I try
to
win.
You don't try to cheat. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, okay. But you gotta have some honor. You gotta have some honor in the shit you do.
Do you? When it comes to board games, I think all is fair.
Okay, that's fair. I think this game still exists. I'm pretty sure, but this was my favorite game when I was a kid by far. I'm going with Guess Who.
That was my next pick.
I'm going with Guess Who. That was my favorite game when I was a kid. Like, unbelievable. Because it was the best. You'd just be like, this person have glasses, And there's like two characters with glasses. No. Well, all right. Then they say yes. You're like, okay. Thank you. No, but that game was cool.
It Gerald?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it Nancy? You're Nancy, aren't you?
Anyway. Have you seen the updated
No, I assume it is.
No,
I assume it is.
The videos. There's somebody that made a videos like playing Guess Who in 2022 or 2020, and it's like, is this person a female? Well, define. It's just, I get it. But like, Guess
no,
Who
I'm going Guess Who. I love that game. That was again one of my favorite games when I was a kid.
Well, now I gotta change the game because that was where I was gonna go. We're at round 4, right? Or is this 5? Round 4.
No, it's round 5.
This is
it's the last one, right?
My last pick.
I think so.
Alex, are you keeping score over there? What you doing? You got to keep us on track. Is it the last pick? Is it that says L? That says L.
Last
Alex.
pick.
Last pick. I could go a lot of direction. But if we're throwing card, I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to go with oh my God. So many good picks. I'm going to go Yahtzee. Good call. Is that a board game?
Yahtzee.
I don't know. I'm going to go with Bobby there. That is a fun shake them dice like your casino. Like Yahtzee. I said, the Spoon Snatchers went like a whole 30 minutes and dominated, talking all sorts of interesting board games that I need to check.
See, there are a lot of
They're intellectuals. We are very simple.
I mean, that's fair. However, some of the games
I
that
left
I'm
some
assuming
goodies on the board.
Well, I'm gonna say one of the games, and again, this to get this in the 5th round,
it's good value.
It's good value for me because I'm going with Settlers of Catan.
I don't know what that is.
I figured you wouldn't.
I've never heard.
I figured you wouldn't, but it's a multiplayer board game, and it's quite fantastic.
We left Sorry.
Sorry. I love Sorry. Sorry was on the board.
And Ladders.
We had Shoots at Candyland.
Candyland.
What do you call it? Oh my God!
Like if you go into the card realm with things like Cards Against Humanity is a lot of fun. Like
we didn't say checkers. You said chess. We didn't say checkers.
Chinese checkers is fun as hell.
Someone just said it in the chat. Stratego. Trouble was a good one.
That's what I was trying to
Trouble.
think of. I was like,
was
what's
a good
the
one with the bubble. Yeah, that's Trouble.
And I couldn't put it together, so
I almost went Sorry. I did at Birdo. I almost went Sorry as my 5th pick, but Settlers of Catan. If you've played it before,
I'm not smart enough for Scrabble.
It is incredible. It is an incredible board game.
Like
I would recommend it. There's another one. Ticket to Ride is also a very good board game that could have been on there. Ticket to Ride is also excellent. We didn't say Scrabble. Scrabble was on there. Yeah. There's a lot of heavy hitters, as there is when you're only doing 5 rounds. A lot of heavy hitters get missed.
Yeah,
I feel like.
And when you're only doing it with the 2 of us, we need to maybe start booking some guests.
Yeah. I will tell you this. There is a horror video board game that I played. It's called Betrayal at the House at the Hill or on the Hill or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you see that in Target, you should buy that.
Okay.
You should buy that.
It's
like a horror-ish board game. Oh, it'll be there.
I don't work there.
Betrayal on Haunted Hill.
Is that it? Haunted Hill?
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk.
Pretty sure.
I thought it was I think tomorrow. Isn't that a movie? I thought it was Betrayal on the House Betrayal at House on the Hill or
Betrayal at House on the Hill. Okay.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because I think Haunted Hill is a movie.
Isn't Tic-Tac-Toe technically a board game?
Yeah.
No. Get out of here with that bullshit.
I would say no. But yeah. There's a lot of fucking games that we didn't say.
No, which I'm like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna be like, oh, I should have picked that one.
What about Boggle? Nobody likes Boggle.
I mentioned Boggle. With Scrabble and Boggle, like they're fun and all, but I am not smart enough to like on the fly think of all these, crazy.
Look at Berto. He says he had his kid for 100 straight days at the beginning of the pandemic, and basically Netflix and Trouble got him through it. Dude, there you go. Trouble's a great game. Trouble is a great game.
Right now with my youngest too, it's the match game where you flip the cards and do the memory.
Oh yeah.
That's like the big move right now. Like my oldest loves to play Risk. Monopoly,
Risk is the
Trivial
best.
Pursuit. We didn't talk.
Trivial Pursuit is a great one.
That's a good one. That
is a great one.
Shouldn't have been left off the board. But
Berto, you were a part of some of the legendary Risk games that we had back in our younger years. Back when we were children and nothing mattered.
You had a trophy made for.
We had a trophy.
You nerds.
Yeah, I won. I never owned that trophy. I only won one game ever of that whole thing because I was not the smartest person there. I was, but we played it, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun as hell. But I won one game in the history of my Risk, and I was pumped. I talked about it for like 2 weeks.
I never win. I'm not a good. I'm like, let's just attack everybody.
Oh.
Especially on the Switch. We got it for the Switch, and I'm just like, oh, I can just start attacking, and I can just push buttons and not count any strategy out, and I just get dominated. Yeah, the computer murks me all the time.
Yep. All right. Well,
we got a couple minutes left. Do we want to play the other graphic? And I just
play the other graphic, and then I'm gonna let you. I'm not gonna speak.
Don't speak.
And then look at Berto says he was more of a spectator during those Risk games because that shit was. I'm telling you this. There were fist fights over those games. Yes. It had to do with the circle of friends that we had. We were a very eclectic bunch. But when we were doing Risk, and especially if it was a trophy game, I would have fucking killed somebody if I hadn't. Like I'm talking. It was when Berto says it was far too intense. That's not exaggeration. It was like there would be moves that we had to make where like people would be like pacing around the room because if they made a move, the whole board could just like it could just go off. And everybody would be sitting there like, oh, shit, if he does this, it's over. And we'd all be like, oh, no, what's he going to do? And there'd be argument. Oh, my God. It was unbelievable. But anyway, I digress. Play the other graphic. We're going to have Pluggo talk about Star Wars for like 2 minutes.
Yep. And then we got.
And I don't think people are going to like what he has to say.
No, they're going to hate it.
And then we're going to get the hell out of here because people are not going to want to watch the show anymore because Pluggo's about to talk crap about Star Wars. So.
Or am I?
Maybe.
Way to tease it.
That is a tease.
Pluggo reviews Star Wars.
All right, I'm back. This is what the third movie we've talked about a part one last week. I can't get into this. I couldn't get into Return of the Jedi. I tried to watch it different ways, different setting. I couldn't get into it. It's 3 movies so far of Darkseid trying to recruit not Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker. Who the hell is Anakin Skywalker? And then like I said last week, his hand is back. I'm confused. Then like he tells Leia, like Yoda's dying, and then Leia's like, I'm your sister, bro. And then they still embrace awkwardly, and he like zooms off, and Han Solo is in love. I feel like they took these movies because this is the middle 3. The first 3 are the middle 3, which still confuses the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they just compounded all these questions that I need answered. But this was technically the finale because it took like 12 years to make. I'm assuming Phantom Menace is the next one I got to watch next week.
Yep.
Ecto Guy is shaking his head. I could not, for the life of me, get into this third one at all. I tried. There was like one of those Ewoks. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but no. Why are you hanging out with Ewoks? Like you don't speak the language. I was so confused the whole time. Luke's hand's back. He's still going after his dad. Him and Leia still have this weird romantic. She was a slave for the first half of the movie. Like somebody explained to me how this is like the greatest trilogy of all time. Because this first 3, like I like the middle one. This second, I just couldn't. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't make sense of any of it. So I'm gonna, man of my word, next week, Phantom Menace. I hear Jar Jar Binks is the greatest character in Star Wars history. I'm psyched for that. I don't
know who the fuck said that, but I don't know who said that, but
Ecto
you
Guy,
probably end up fucking liking Jar Jar Binks. He gets a bad rap.
I did hear from some sources, some of my sources within the Star Wars world, that a lot of the stuff that I'm having trouble grasping in the first 3 movies is going to start to make sense.
Yes. You'll see,
and then I'll be like, oh,
yeah, you'll see what leads into what you just saw.
And you're not supposed to know when an Ewok says you're not a translator droid.
Correct. There's certain characters you don't know what R2D2 says anytime he talks.
No, but we
never do.
He's spitting some shit.
Yeah.
What is a Wookiee? How is but why is he hanging out with? How does Han Solo?
Because it's in space. It's not real.
It's a space opera.
When they go into hyper fucking drive, and the stars do that cool thing. How do they never run into one of them?
Because they're in hyperdrive. They're in a special tunnel that gets them to where they need to go.
Oh, you think you're questioning the how? Why didn't they run into the stars now? Just wait until episode 8.
Oh God!
When they go into hyperdrive or hyperspace, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? I
said this from the beginning. Maybe I'm watching these in the trying to figure out why everyone else loves them, and it's taking away from some of the nuanced stuff. And everybody keeps telling me, just wait, it all makes sense. It'll all make sense once you start getting into the prequel.
You're asking too many questions in the middle of the story. That's the wrong thing to do.
But that's how I watch movies.
You have to absorb all of it and then ask the question.
That's how I watch
movies.
Is I have to know. And like I said, this was the blow off in a sense, because he made this one was the middle. He made this last one, and then it was forever until they made the first prequel. So this was your blow off movie, which was like, if in a trilogy, this is supposed to be like, and I just was left with wait, what? I liked the second one better, a lot better. I had more investment. I prefer the second. I prefer Empire to
top
Jedi.
Tier. Top
Empire by me and a lot of other Star Wars fans is the best one of all of them.
Where does the consensus where does Jedi rank?
It's usually near the top.
Is it?
After the prequel trilogy, it's at the top. It's near the top.
Literally, and I was like, as soon as he kissed her goodbye, after knowing that they're related sister brother wise, I was like, what am I doing? What? Why does that make sense? I do now understand why everybody was in love with Carrie Fisher and how that was an iconic moment. Because I didn't understand those. I was like, okay, it's just a chick in a bikini, but she was, everybody's like, that's the coolest part of the movie.
Yeah, because it was a bunch of nerds.
She's
hot. She's hot.
Everybody's all about her in space. Like Lando Calrissian. Cool. Does he have his own sequel thing going, or his own little prequel, or his own little spin-off?
Not his own thing, but you can see him. You can see him portrayed by Donald Glover in Solo, a Star Wars story.
If you watch Solo, one of the side ones, which came out when they've been doing the newer ones. Is that part of this
series?
No, this is about it's a sub story about Han Solo when he's younger.
We can keep
and Donald Glover plays a young Lando in that movie. What?
I know him as Troy and Abed in the morning.
Yeah, Troy.
All right. Maybe again.
Pluggo hates Star Wars, guys. That's all I'm getting out of this.
What was that phrase you said earlier today? What was that phrase you said earlier today? Let it play out.
Let it play out. Let it play out. Just like we're going to let it play out with Christian and Jungle Boy, we need to let it play out. Let Star Wars play out.
Ultimately, I know we got to get going because Bobby and Papa Smoke's got to do their thing. We're rolling over.
Yes.
But I'm going to end you with it. Should we have watched it in the new making sense order, not the numerical release then?
No, I think the first time, you have to understand, most people that like Star Wars, we have watched this at least the first trilogy, but we've watched this multiple times over. So the first time you had to watch it, you should watch it in the way it was theatrically released, because that's how we all saw it. Now,
I'm a man of my word. I'll power through to the next
and you'll get through them. And then I think somewhere down the line, not for the show, but somewhere down the line, you should probably revisit all of them again. And then maybe you can do 1 through 9 and see it in the chronological
because after
way
this,
to do
I'm
it.
sure we're gonna just spin this into Pluggo just review because I got all the Marvel and Avengers.
Yeah, you gotta watch Marvel. You gotta watch Harry Potter. You've never watched Harry Potter. Would be something I would be able to have. Don't get me wrong. I consider myself a pretty decent Star Wars person. I'm not even close to top tier Starbucks fan. Not Star Wars fan. However, Harry Potter, we would be able to have some discussions if we wanted to have
conversation about. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Big time. Well, but on that note, we got to get the hell out of here. Pluggo, Alex, thank you as always for producing the show. Thanks for hopping off of the Star Wars part of it. Pluggo, let the people, actually, Alex, you go. Let the people know where they can find you. And then Pluggo, and then I'll get out of here.
We never let you have your flowers. Here's your
My
flowers.
moment. You can find me at the Ecto Guy right down wherever the hell this is, right here. On the Twitter Spaces, or you can find me right here every Thursday night, except for last week and maybe next week. I don't know. On Between Two Beards. Just kidding. I'll be here.
I hope so. Someone about to lose their damn job.
He says that now. We got people shopping at the bit, Alex, for your spot.
I know, man. I gotta keep the budget blown. All right.
Pluggo, go ahead. Where can people find you, my friend?
This is the flagship show, bro. You need to know. You find me at Pluggo_ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all over the place. It's Pluggo. I just started helping out the boys at the Wrestling Outsiders. Go check them out. A lot of fun going on there. It's a good time. You get more of me dropping some more of these kind of type fun questions, having some good time. You find us at Between Two Beards on Facebook, at Twitter, on TikTok. We're doing all sorts of fun things. I just opened some packs. We got the All Elite Sidecast on Thursdays. Jay, you could tell them about what you got going on because we're just taking over the world. Flagship.
So we have the J&J Power Hour with Josh Robinson, our friend, over on his channel that releases every Thursday morning over here. We actually have our own YouTube channel now. We moved it over to our own YouTube channel. You can find it through Josh's Twitch page or his YouTube page, but we have our own channel now. So please give that a thumbs up. Please give it a subscribe. Help us out over there, J&J Power Hour. Obviously, you can catch me here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. For Between Two Beards. We'll be here week after week after week after week. You can catch me on most Wednesdays, unless my Celtics are playing in championship games, apparently. But you can catch me most Wednesdays and Pluggo most Wednesdays on All Elite Sidecast with our girl, the natural Astrid, as we watch along to AEW Dynamite. So if you watch Dynamite every Wednesday and you want to hop in the chat and just chat about it with some fun people that talk about everything and we're goofy and we kind of just have a good time, follow us here on Love Wrestling Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. For All Elite Sidecast. But you can find me here, Joseph_Poulin Jr. on the Twitter machine. You can find me on Facebook and Twitch at JPJ Loves Wrestling. You can follow us Between Two Beards at B2Beards on Twitter, B2Beards on TikTok, Between Two Beards on Facebook. You can find us everywhere.
And keep it right here because
do not leave. MLW is a product everyone should be watching. They are fantastic.
Bobby and Papa Smokes are going to put in that work, unlike that bum Christian.
And on that note, until next Thursday, we'll see y'all here. Thank you for being in the chat. We appreciate and love all you guys. You guys allow us to do what we're doing. So tell your friends, let's grow this thing. Let's get this thing going. I want to fucking do this for a job. So let me know. Help me get there. Tired of this shit.
Luke, quit kissing your sister.